From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, there's been a lot of announcements about Switch games getting updated for Switch 2, but what about the ones that nobody's announced yet? And what about ones that we might play again if they got updated? And also, hey, we all got Gamecube controllers. Hey.
My hands are red. I mean blue. Yeah, I win.
2 controllers, no system. I'm playing Pretendo.
Yep. Welcome
You're forever the younger brother.
Yeah, don't plug it in so John won't mess it up. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 471. Your place to hear Nintendo fans talk about the Switch 2 and all the events that are leading up to that. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey, Metal Clear Solid Johnson.
I'm Jeremy, New Tiny TV, Mikowski.
And John will take what victories he can knitter.
I put that Metal Clear Solid there for you. I know it's not as good as Jedi Dower Battles, but I'm trying here.
That's pretty good.
Try to get another good pun in there for you.
Yeah, Dower Battles it's hard to talk about.
But we're here again. Some stuff has happened in between episodes. Some people got the invitations. I was believing that no one was going to get it until I saw that Greg got it from NVC. And supposedly he's real. I never met him, but I mean, it was an actual real, quote unquote, real person that I've seen online a lot. But when Wario 64 shows up and says his uncle has one, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody actually got one. I was saying I want to see like an actual person because the NVC Facebook group was completely silent as far as people getting invites. So
I think very few people actually got one.
Yeah,
I heard almost no noise about it online.
I saw some people posted it on, I feel like it was maybe like 8 out of, I don't know how many people are on the NVC group. I saw like maybe 8 people posted that they got it. But I mean, if you look, like we were saying last week, like if you look, it says it on the website. Well, it says on the website, invites will be sent out through possibly after the Switch launches. Right. And it says there's no guarantee that you will get it on the release date, which means whatever. It's them saying like, there's no guarantee, and it also, it said, we will tell you whenever it actually ships, like you'll get an email saying like when it's actually going out. So I'll be curious to see whoever did get the invite, like when they actually get it sent out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's some good news to start off the show here with, all three of us got GameCube controllers as of today, as of like 9 hours ago, almost 10 hours ago.
Yeah, about 1 o'clock.
Thanks to the vigilance of both Trey and John.
Yeah, we were all kind of on a mission to do it. Well, I figured we could all give our stories about it, but mine was pretty simple. Like, I had a later. I'm at a remote location. I had a later call time. It was supposed to be like 12 to 10 was the plan for the day, but I was like, we should be done around 9, but whatever. But I was staying up, it's like, I don't need to go to bed early. I'm going to try to stay up till like 2:30, I'll sleep for like 8 hours, get up at 10:30, whatever. So I was like, as of like 11 o'clock, I just grabbed my phone, checked the website, refreshed it a couple times, like till like 10:05, set it back down, 11 o'clock comes around, same thing, like refresh it a couple times till like, 11:03, 11:05, whatever. And I did this like every hour for like 12 hours pretty much.
Yeah.
I was going to go to bed at 2:30. I didn't go to bed till quite 3 o'clock. So I was like, well, I'll wait till 3 and look at that. And then I sleep for like an hour. I'm kind of off and on. I roll over, look at my phone. It's like, oh, it's 4. Better check again. Like this was just, it's right next to me, right next to bed. I just like, all right, well, let's see if it's there. All right, it's still not there. Go back to bed. You roll over again. It's like, all right, it's 5 now. Check it. I didn't set an alarm or anything. I just kind of this at this hotel, like I really like the way it's set up. Like it has like these really cool beams and stuff. But it's kind of like a loft, and there's like this giant window back here, right by the bed, and it just gets so fucking bright that it's hard to sleep anyway. So I'm kind of like off and on. Plus, I normally have a hard time sleeping in hotels anyway, just because it's not my normal, my normal sleeping situation. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that off and on and off and on. I'm waiting. I get up and have lunch here in the my little kitchenette or whatever, and I'm looking and I saw John being like, I'm checking on and off. And what was it? Mm-hmm. Say what you said at 11. When I was when I saw it wasn't up by 11, I was thinking like I'm pretty fed up. And then I saw John posting some stuff on the Slack.
Yeah, so I was posting, all the updates that I could on our Slack channel. My plan was I was staying up last night till midnight, and I was hoping that would come up on midnight. Did not come up at midnight, of course. But then I said, well, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up early as I normally do. I had the day off today, but I'm on a rhythm. I wake up at 5 every day anyway. So I'll wake up at 5, and then I'll just hopefully by 6, because surely 6 o'clock it'll release. 6 o'clock did not release.
Nope.
7, kind of an odd time release, but maybe they'll release it. Nope, not at 7, not at 8, not at 9. I kept telling myself, oh yeah, it makes more sense to release at 9. Actually, yeah, that's good. It's definitely releasing at 9 for sure. Yeah,
you start to rationalize.
Pretty much. There was it's like, well, maybe. Well, and I saw you posted something in the Slack about like some person being like, well, I heard the invitations went out at like 8 Pacific or something like that, and it's like I'm just like, who knows? I sure, I don't know.
I was following Reddit channels, and one of them actually posted that they saw a guy on Twitter who asked Nintendo's customer service chatbot, and the customer service chatbot actually ended up being right. It said it's going to release at 10 Pacific.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Which it did. So. Yeah. And this chatbot, if you read the message, it's pretty clearly just it's not a real person; it's just an AI. And so that's what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to ask the customer service chatbot what time something is releasing next time.
I guess you don't feel like you're putting them out. I mean, it's a computer.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, no, we should try that. Maybe I'll do that later tonight. Hey, chatbot, will I ever get an invite? I mean, because you said they might come out till after the release. Like, do you think I'll get one? Like, let me.
Yeah, sure, Trey, you're on the list. Yep.
Let me check your references. Please send credit card info.
You have not played Nintendo Switch Online soon enough. You took a break from it. You need to get back on that. It's like, what?
You have never gotten first place in Tetris 99. Sorry.
That is true. They're really getting me there. They know all the secrets of me. It's like when you beat. It's like when you beat Metal Gear Solid, and it's like, you saved this amount of times, or whatever. They know everything. They know all your stats. I always thought that'd probably be the coolest thing if there is like an afterlife or whatever. I just want to see my stats. That's all I want to see. Just show me how the amount of time I did things. It's like, how many times did you turn on your Switch? Or,
right.
What's my full play time total?
Your stats are just video game stats for your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard them.
I just want to see all the times that I was right. You were right 30% of the time in arguments.
Yeah. I saw that was like a joke on Axel Blood God, where it's like, well, you're at the pearly gates as well. Like, it's like, well, you never beat Final Fantasy X. I don't think you're going to make it in here.
Blitzball's huge in heaven.
Yeah, or whatever. It's like, well, you never made it through Persona 5, and that was a requirement.
Yeah,
that was always a thing. I was like, that was my. It's like I got to get through Persona 5 before I kick it or whatever. That's about one of my goals. Well, maybe I like 4 better. One of them. I want to get through one of them.
Well, when I got to got to actually place an order, finally, I got one in the cart, but I was having flashbacks of Target immediately.
Yeah,
because it was just sitting in the Target in the cart forever with the little dots. But of course, they were Nintendo
the stars. Yeah, the little star face stars.
I was like, I don't care if it's cute. That doesn't help. I want to see it go through. And so I sat there with that for about a minute or so, and I just said, I got to try going back a step. Of course, I wasn't getting it back in the browser. I was going to get back, so there's a button on there that says go back to cart. And so I did. And then I tried to go forward again, and I actually got like one step further forward. Right, entered the payment information, but that didn't go through. I checked my bank account. It did not get charged, so I backed it up again. And this is all over the course of maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And I tried a third time, and then finally got through. I was like, "Hey man, got some good news. This launch finally good news." So,
something finally worked out for us.
yeah, it did.
It was I was gonna say, like, my story is super short because it just worked out really well for me. I was like, well, I said it, earlier on the Slack. I was like, well, with my luck, it's going to happen at noon because that's my call time. That's what I got to do. And I just went down to the lobby. I was waiting to meet the camera guy, and he just texted me. He was running a couple minutes late, and I just jumped on, and I was like, oh, there it is, and I just put it in the cart. My address was wrong and had the old apartment on there. I switched that up, and it was all good. I had no problems at all. Like it was so weird because we had so much problems trying to pre-order the Switch. This one was like, it was just so easy, and it just worked. It worked in like not even a minute, maybe. Like it was like 50 seconds or something. I was like, oh my god, and I saw it. It's like, all right, you got it, and I checked my bank account. My bank account was charged. I didn't get my email receipt until like a couple hours later. They emailed it to me later. I thought they'd automatically send it, but they charged me for it. I have no idea when it's getting here. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get. I don't think it's going to get here on June 5th, but we'll see. I said they had like overnight shipping for like $30. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But we'll see. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm just glad that I have it because who knows? Yeah. I'm sure they ran out of them pretty quickly, and who knows when we'll get a chance to get another one. And I got a GameCube adapter if I really need one, but I don't. I'm just I got my leverless. I could just use my leverless for a Soul Calibur. I really want to try to get some of the extra stuff on F-Zero because I was watching a video on F-Zero GX. And there's a bunch of extra characters that I didn't know about. Like you have to like beat the story mode like on expert mode, which is damn near fucking impossible. But I'd like to try it on Switch too. So there's extra characters you can unlock that I didn't even know about until I saw this video. So I've been itching to try to get back into it, but with save states and all that, maybe it'll help me out. I mean, I don't know. It's harder for racing games.
Regarding the confirmation email, I'm just looking at mine for the first time right now. It says something peculiar. So of course it says ships by June 4th. This item is expected to start shipping on June 4th, which I take that to mean that's when it's going to leave the warehouse, right? But it also says expected by May 26th.
Weird.
So I don't know that it's expected by 8 days, whatever it is, 9 days before it's expected to ship. So I don't know. I guess I could take that to mean maybe it would ship out as soon as May 26th if possible. Like they're trying to get ahead of any sort of problems and really get everybody their controller by launch day. I wonder if it's possible that I might get it before launch day.
I hope you do. Mine does not say that. I just pulled it up just to see if it matched what yours said, and mine says shipped by June 4th, expected to start shipping on June 4th. That's what mine says. It. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe yours is coming early. I mean,
maybe so. Yeah.
I hope
expected by May 26th. I know it's reversed.
No, I know. I mean, June 4th as well.
I mean, I believe you. I'm just hopefully it works out well for you. I'm not saying yours doesn't say that, but no. Hopefully that's what happens to you.
Well, my story is not super complicated, but I was at work and I work in a restaurant, so that's when this thing went on sale right as our lunch rush was like in heavy swing.
At noon for you guys, yeah.
So it was noon our time. So luckily Trey and John both were on the ball, and
I sent you a text.
John even called me. Yeah, Trey texted me. John called me.
Yeah, we had this whole agreement where, John was. Yeah, well, John started it. Yeah, you said to call you if it was after midnight or whatever, if it went up in the morning and get you up. And I told you to call me at like 5 or 6 or whatever when I was, if I was asleep and let me know,
I figured our usual opposite schedules are working in our favor here for these alerts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would have. I mean, I'm working, so I would have stayed up later. But I mean, I did predict it though. It's like I bet it's going to be on noon at noon, and I sat down in the lounge, in the lobby, just waiting a minute. And I look at it, and it's like press to pre-order, and I'm like, what? And it's like, and I hit it and put it in the cart. Oh, and I made sure, we did all the things we did before. Like I made sure that my right card was in there, like my right bank card was in there, and that made sure I was. And they did actually make me re-log in. I guess I did that, but it was already saved within my phone or whatever, so it wasn't a problem.
Yeah. So I saw it and I was dour. I was dour this time around because I was like, I can't even get to my phone to do it. But I managed to like have a second where I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna at least try. So it was probably 12:15. Well, it was a little after noon. It was like 12:05, and I got on the Nintendo website, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Do I need to search GameCube? Do I need to do this? And I like scroll, and finally see it, and it says pre-order. It said like pre-order now or whatever. I'm like, oh shit! I clicked on it.
Get on it.
And it did the whole thing where I had to log in, and then it was just like the spinny page of like, you're in line, don't refresh, don't leave unless you want to leave the line. I'm like, okay. So I just like leave that running, and then I work, and I'll occasionally like kind of look at my phone to see if anything's happening, but nothing was. And so I didn't look at it for over a half an hour at one point, and I'm like, I just given up on it. So I essentially opened it up. It was still spinning, and I like let Trey and John know in the Slack. I'm like, I don't think I got it. I think, being busy at work probably stopped me from getting it. And then after I sent that message, I went back to the Chrome browser, and it was still on the spinny thingy. And I'm like, all right, there's no way. And then all of a sudden it was like in the cart screen. I'm like, wait, what? So I go to my cart, and it had my old address in, which is what happened with the N64 controller. It was going to send it to my old address. I'm like, no. So I managed to change it. And then, yeah, I didn't have my card information saved. I was like, this isn't going to work out. This sucks. Like I did not prepare for this. And somehow, some way it got through. And I just got my confirmation email a little bit ago that I have it ordered. And yeah, it's supposed to ship on June 4th. So I don't foresee myself getting this on the day of, especially since I did standard delivery.
Yeah, me too. I figure we'll get it like a week after or something like that. But I mean, at least we got it. At least we got it secured. That's all. That's all that matters.
Jeremy, did your email say anything weird, like expected by May 26th?
No. It says shipped by June 4th. Expected to start shipping on June 4th.
That's it's the same, right? Yeah, June 4th and June 4th.
Yep.
Glad one of these finally worked.
It worked though. Like the pre-order frenzy convinced me to buy one. I was still on the fence about it, and even like I'm not gonna lie, I was even kind of like, well, I didn't get it. That's fine. But when it showed up in my card, I was like, oh, I got it. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going for it or not. He did. Yeah. Because you weren't like, call me, or
I think I would regret not having it. In the future, I might wish I had it.
It's the GameCube. I
was telling John before we started recording.
It's the center of all greatness, is what it is.
My favorite controller of all time is the Wavebird, and
this
is essentially a better version of the Wavebird because it still has force feedback.
Yeah, because the Wavebird did not have rumble in it, and this is a purple one too, right? Or it is like the regular
indigo.
Yeah, I wish it was the spice orange. I really like that color better, but I get it that it's going to be the launch color.
Yeah,
because it's nostalgic or whatever.
Yeah, it's the purple one. I like it. It's it's going to be fun. I'm excited to have it because GameCube is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast, because our episode that we did where we talked about our favorite GameCube games that we wanted to be added to Nintendo Switch Online, it's out there now. There's like an hour-long free version, and it's up for all of the expansion pack members. So check it out. I thought it was a really fun episode to do, and I thought it came out really well. And the WART radio is out as well. And I know I say this every time, but I think this one is my new favorite one. No, I had a lot of fun with it. I found a file that had like all of the noises from all the characters from Soul Calibur 2. So I put a lot of quotes from Cervantes in there, if you remember. I mean, we used to play, like, when I lived with Megan back in the day, like, we played the shit out of Soul Calibur 2, and we would just, like, do, like, two-player and just yell at each other and just laugh at it, And I found, like, the one where he, like, stabs you, and he's like, stop struggling! Like, I got that. And, and like, where Link's like, yeah! I just found a bunch that just has all their lines and all the different characters. But Cervantes was always one of my favorites, because he would just yell all this shit at you. And it's like, you do the opening thing and you have the two heads next to each other and you can press different buttons for them to yell different things at each other. Street Fighter 6 kind of ripped that off because at Street Fighter 6 you can do the same thing where you can push different buttons to make your characters like make faces at each other at the very beginning there. But it all goes back to Soul Calibur 2 and yelling at each other, which I thought was really funny. Yeah. So, good shit. I'm very excited to play Soul Calibur 2 again. Like, I really have great memories about that game. And I remember it had a lot of, it was back in the day when they made like fighting games like really rich with like extra stuff that wasn't just like the arcade modes and all that. I remember there's a whole like RPG-esque thing where you collect all the different weapons and all that stuff that was really fun, like with the map and whatnot. And there's a really cool like single player mode on there, which I like. I miss those days when they really beefed up I guess Street Fighter 6 did that as well, but
There's another one that was on the on that demo disc that I would play at Walmart when I worked for Walmart for one summer.
Oh yeah, there was only like there were two characters I think that you could play as, right? Yeah. And you could only play a couple rounds.
Yeah, that was my most experience really with Soul Calibur 2, but of course I had Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast and loved that. And
I played that was the first time I ever played Soul Calibur 1. I thought was your copy.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it? I mean, I think I played it with you. I don't know who else I would have played
I'm
it
sure
with.
You did, yeah.
Because we would do the ring outs and laugh about how you could ring people, because I had never really played fighting games where you could do that aside from like I guess Virtua Fighter and arcades, but that was just brief,
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, Soul Calibur, it's a fun ass game,
and we can play it with GameCube controllers and play it online. I'm so excited to play GameCube online, and eventually when we get Mario Kart Double Dash, we can finally live the dream of playing Warp Pipe. Remember the Warp Pipe servers?
Yeah.
Disabled Warp Pipe.
Well, didn't Double Dash have like LAN play? Like if you knew how to do it, right?
Yeah.
You could make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could finally have Double Dash. I know you didn't.
I never had it.
You didn't get it because fucking Fran gave it a 7.9.
That's the reason I never got Double Dash, because that's
so
7.9.
wrong. Double Dash is awesome. Double Dash is one of my favorite Mario Kart
I played
games.
it eventually and realized I loved it. So I was kind of the same way where I avoided it for quite a while.
7.9, it's an 8. It's just 0.1.
It's not quite an 8.
Who cares? Like I had so much fun with that game. Like I didn't understand why. Well, yeah, they were mad because you couldn't jump anymore on it, but it did so many great things in other ways. Like with I think it's the only one that has like character themed items, which I thought was really cool. And a lot of the character themed items were stuff that we saw later in the game. Like this is the first time we saw them. And I watched a video on Game Explained showing like how it was the first Mario Kart world where like everything was actually, you could see each track and every other track because they were all like, it was a big map that they built and they all existed in different spots. Yeah, Double Dash was a damn good game. It needs its justice.
I was also upset that you couldn't jump in that game, because jumping was my like linchpin move, since I didn't know how to power slide.
Yeah,
I would just jump around the corner, and that worked for me in 64. I never got the hang of power sliding until maybe the Wii version or so. But yeah, so I'm excited to give Double Dash a try, and every other GameCube game that's on there, and have an authentic GameCube controller. I feel so much relief, and I feel a lot of like reinvigoration, like I'm ready to go out and do my camping trip that I'm going to do to actually get the system. I feel like the odds are in my favor.
Yeah, John's got as you said earlier, 2 controllers, no system.
Yep, that's it. So I got the Pro Controller, I got the GameCube, and come on, system, let's go.
That's all you need. We could segue to that and talk about your camping plans if you want. I mean,
sure.
Because this is like there was some news that came out too, where Best Buy kind of hinted that they might have some extra systems aside from whatever was pre-ordered for their midnight release. And I was thinking, I was like, because didn't you say like last week that like Costco and Best Buy were like next to each other or something like that? I was like, well, what if
they're just down the street? They're within half a mile.
It's like, what if you tried? What if you checked out Best Buy for the midnight and saw if anybody was there, and maybe you could try that, and then do Costco. Like, is that what you think you're gonna do?
So I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get in line. I might make it a 36-hour trip. I might get in line 24 hours before Best Buy opens. Like I'll get there at midnight on, is it a Saturday that it
launches on Thursday? Everything Nintendo Launches on Thursdays now. It's weird. It used to be Fridays. Now it's Thursdays.
I might get there at midnight, 12 a.m. Wednesday.
It'll be Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday night. Yeah, midnight release will be Wednesday night. So we'll have to, whatever. We'll figure it out. We're gonna have to switch up our recording schedule, which we're already doing now. But yeah,
I think that's probably what I'll do, and probably whoever watches the parking lot at night is gonna be like, "Dude, you're a day early." I'm gonna be like, "I know." Yeah. And so if I don't get it at Best Buy, which I pre-ordered that controller at that Best Buy anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll just pick that up there if I get my system and all that. If I don't get the system there, I'll just head over to Costco. I think I'd be pretty safe getting to Costco 8 hours before it opens.
Yeah. When does Costco open? I mean, I would
8 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, I would, if it was me, I would check both locations just to see if there's anybody out yet. I mean, you're already gonna do it like a day in advance, but you never know. There
Maybe
might
go
be
back and forth between the two.
Well, I just thought at least before you commit to one, you check them both out and see if there's anybody in the lines.
Maybe so, yeah. But along those lines, I bought some gear in preparation. I bought a camping chair, and I found one on Amazon for like $55 or so. It's like a nice, they call it a zero gravity chair, so it's something you can recline in and be comfy in.
You were supposed to buy a camping chair from Costco. That's what we said.
Kirkland.
Because they got their Kirkland shit there.
They do. I don't know. Like Amazon one was a pretty good deal. And
I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter which one you get. Whatever. I forget what kind it is, but my mom bought us a couple of camping chairs a couple of years ago. We brought them to the wedding, but I love them. They're great. Like they're
a nice quality one.
They don't recline, but they're like the sturdiest ones I've ever seen. Like most of those they fall apart eventually. These ones I don't think will ever fall apart. Like they feel very, very sturdy. Like the cloth feels super sturdy.
You'll never regret having a great camping chair. It's one of those things.
No, I love the ones that we got, like those black ones.
The
black ones that we brought, like because I always use I always use cheap ones, but these ones were, they're really solid.
I also needed to get one because I'm going to a Weird Al concert, an outdoor concert in the summer. So I need one.
Got to bring your own seat.
Yeah, it's at Pine Knob, which is an open, it's partial seating, but then there's lawn seats. So I got lawn seats.
Oh, okay. Weird. What was it?
That's later.
That one. Did you go to that show? You went to that show, right, Jeremy? Where you won the tickets from the Guitar Hero contest?
That wasn't Weird Al, but that was.
It wasn't, but they had lawn seats there. That was.
Yeah, that was when we saw Poison.
That was Rat. That was Poison with Rat. But yeah, but they did have lawn seats there. That was the only time I've seen. We didn't sit in them, but at board they had a lawn that you could sit on for less, than the regular seats.
Lawn's where it's at.
Yeah, you'd save a lot of money. I think I paid $45.
Also, you can move around more without feeling like you're in people's way. Like,
it's true,
right?
It makes it more comfortable.
So I got the camping chair, and then I got a urinal as well, just in case. I'm gonna be out there for a long time.
A little mini one, portable one.
Like wanted to put in your car?
Well, I guess I could keep it there, but
it's like one of those little ones, right? That you pee in, and you.
Yeah, like the one that they give patients at the hospital.
Oh, bedpan.
Not a bedpan. No, that'd be weird. If I'm just laying in the parking lot.
I mean, the bedpans, you gotta empty them. It's they're not like it's probably. I mean, I've seen like the ones where
truckers have had this figured out for years. It's called a 1 gallon jug.
Yeah, like little. Well, I mean, I remember. I don't know.
You just gotta line it up correct, and you're good to go.
One of the first shows I worked on. The DP bought these little urinals, and he would just pee in them in the van while we were driving or whatever. And I was like, okay, but they're like little jars that have whatever you call it.
It's angled. It has a handle on it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got like a funnel. It's got like a funnel.
It's like a reverse pitcher.
Yeah. When I drove to California from Michigan, I tried going in like a regular old, like a Snapple bottle or something like that. It was much more difficult than I thought it would be. So
it's also never the capacity.
Yeah.
You want larger capacity.
Yeah.
I could never do it. Well, I mean, it's also like the complexity of jeans, just in general.
Yeah.
While driving in jeans and trying to, it would just, there's no way I'd pee on the floor.
I don't think it's genetic.
I mean, I'd like pee on the ceiling. I could.
To be clear, I was not. I
happened.
was in the passenger seat at the time.
Okay, if I was in the passenger seat, I still think it'd be the zippers, and it's complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do remember there was a time when I was traveling around with my band back in the day, and we were coming back from Virginia Beach, and they didn't want to stop at all. And so there was one point where I definitely peed in like an orange juice jug or something. And I was just like, how am I just going to do this? You guys are just going to have to watch me. And they're like, whatever, do it. We don't want to stop. I'm like, okay, I'm going to piss right here in front of all of you. And I did.
I mean, they don't have to watch you.
Well,
I mean, they'll hear you. I'm sure they'll
what
hear
else are
you
you going to do? You're all in the van together.
They could do other things. They could close their eyes. They don't have to necessarily watch you. I remember my dad had there was this, he had this like peanut jar in the van, and it was like the emergency peanut jar. There's no peanuts in it. It was empty, but it was the pea peanut jar, and it was like, I remember my sisters, we'd always be like, nobody touches the peanut jar. It's emergency only. Don't touch it. It's the pea jar. Don't leave it there.
Yep.
And I think I did pee in it once, but yeah, it's like, I was like, don't touch that. That's the emergency jar. And it was just kind of in the corner of the back of the van or whatever. But I remember them having one.
I've gotten super used to having like a toilet in the van when we travel, and I try not to use it. Like usually I can find a tree to pee on, but it's there if I need it, and it's really nice. It's gross to clean, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old. I'm almost 45. I need to have a restroom by wherever I'm peeing. Actually, at your wedding, I just peed outside of the tent, so it was fine. Yeah. I just walked out and peed, but I need to, aside from, I still have to pee like every.
We got to do that every once
in
a while to reconnect with nature. You got to pee outside.
Yeah, I got to pee on trees.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but with your van, like you got the ideal like camp out in a parking lot, wait for a console.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Set up there. I mean, you're living large.
Literally, that thing's huge.
Yep, it's true. Well,
sorry about taking us on a 5-minute urinal tangent there.
I kind of have to pee now.
Yeah, I peed before we started. That's what I did. But no, as far I would say you have more options now, and I thought that some of they did kind of hint at that maybe some of the stores are going to have some extra ones aside from the pre-order stuff. So you could still,
and actually
still wait in line at different places if you want.
So that story about Best Buy, they posted it on their website, and then they pretty quickly took it down. But a bunch of people got screenshots where they said that they were going to have extra consoles and a Nintendo
collectible
tchotchke.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't know what that is, but
So they took that down, but I guess it still remains on their mobile app. And then not only that, but I found a website that actually reached out to Best Buy, and Best Buy confirmed to them that yes, that's true. The stores are going to have a few extras as well as a Nintendo tchotchke.
Well, actually, as far as the Best Buy thing, so they posted the Best Buy thing and they took it down. But this morning, I got an email directly from Best Buy saying all of those things. So if they have your email or whatever, you're in the system, like you don't have to be like a paid member or whatnot. They sent me an email about it, and I saw that online. People saying like, "Oh, here it is," and they're like, "Yeah, I just got that as an email." And I was like, "Yeah, I did too. I got one like this morning, saying that they were extra directly from Best Buy, saying that they would have limited inventory, but there will be some extra ones aside from
late. I got it too. Late night openings just got more exciting. If I got that email,
I was gonna say. I mean, if you're on their, I've been on their mailing list for I don't know for like 20 years probably or something. But yeah, they sent me a thing about it this morning, so it is real. That us real people have heard it. It's not just somebody online saying that it exists. So yeah, Best Buy.
It's going to be a long day.
Yeah. I mean, you're planning on like not working like the whole week, so
I took 3 days
prepared.
Off.
Yeah. I just have to get to Green Bay. I just get to Green Bay and back. That's all I have to do. But still, that's like 6 hours. We're not.
Your mine's hopefully just gonna roll up on my porch,
and yours will arrive at some point. At a time.
Yeah, exactly. Don't know when.
We will find out.
Luckily, my wife works from home, so she'll be here when it arrives, no matter what.
Nice.
That's good.
Well, in the interest of time, maybe we just roll on into our topic.
Yeah, let's do that. I figured we would.
I got to get going.
Whatever you need to do, we'll do it up front here. I was just thinking about this. Actually, this topic was. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, like, my idea about doing the top fives and all that. We don't need to do that this week. We can, after this episode, we got 3 more episodes, so we can just we'll all do one for like the next 3 episodes to lead into Switch 2. So I was going to say,
explain that for the people.
Oh well, I was going to cut this, but no. What I was planning on doing for the next couple episodes, since we have, including this episode, we have 4 episodes left before we actually do one where we've experienced the Switch 2, where we've played it and we talk about it and all that. So I came up with this on the drive to this location. I just kind of thought of it. I thought that we would each week, one of us will do like one top 5 a week, and we'll talk
starting
about
next week.
Starting next week, yeah, we'll each do it. We'll each do a top 5 of like our favorite genre. So I was just, you don't have to do this, but I was just throwing it out. Like maybe John could do like top 5 FMV games, or Jeremy could do like top 5 roguelites, or I could do fighting games, or whatever, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be those. And you could just say, just as a celebration of the Switch 1, because don't forget, we got so many games on that system, and it still blows my mind, like how many fucking RPGs are on there. Like just like, like it blew my mind to see Final Fantasy VII on like a Nintendo system. Yeah. Like that was a long fucking time ago. That was like the first year of the Switch, but still. And now we have like Suikoden and like fucking Lunar and like all this shit's on there. It's insane. Like it just blows my mind like how much stuff is on there. And Grandia and like all these like super obscure RPGs are on there now. It's like it's wild.
Yeah.
But
there was even a list IGN put out of top RPGs. I bet most of them are on the Switch.
Yeah, I actually misunderstood that list because when I put it on Slack, I was like, yeah, there's no fucking Elder Scrolls in there. Fuck them. It's actually a list of Japanese RPGs. That's why there's no Elder Scrolls in there. But I was happy because I hate those games. So I like the list because I like Japanese RPGs, and it's mostly stuff that I've already played and that I like. So
it's funny that
I
screenshot you
list.
sent with the list, it didn't show what number 1 was. So
yeah, you have to like... You have to,
I opened up the
click on it and watch
I opened
the
up the
thing.
image and it was.
Oh, it wasn't all on there. Yeah, because I know if you like enlarged it, it was on there. But yeah, Chrono Trigger obviously was number 1.
I was like, why isn't Chrono on there? And you're like, it's number 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I watched the video that went along with it today while I was eating lunch, and yeah, I mean, I agree with most of it. I mean, I don't know if I'd put Final Fantasy X at the top of all the Final Fantasy games, but there's some young kids that work there, so whatever. But I really like seeing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in the top 5. So I'm all about that. That game is really, really good. I think that's probably my favorite game. I think that's my favorite game of the Switch is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That game was so good.
Okay.
I really like that game a lot. But I was Doom. Was it Doom: The Dark Ages just came out on the other topic, not the top 5. We're doing that on next week's episode. But the Doom the Dark Ages just came out, or is coming out soon on other systems. I think it's going to be a Switch 2 thing. It's got to be. It's coming out for PS4. It's coming out for Xbox Series S. It can totally run on it. And Doom's 2016 came out the first year of Switch as well. They got that on there real quick. So I think we're going to see it. But on the idea of that, I was thinking about older games that I would love to see an update, like maybe ones that we haven't seen any announcement about yet. And of course, the first thing that came to mind for me was Doom 2016. If they did a Switch 2 update of it, I would totally play through it again. I like that game a lot. It's a shit ton of fun. You have it, John. You have that game. You can play it. You can play through it also again, or play through it for the first time. I don't think you made it to the end, but
I made it almost to the end. I should finish that game.
It gets real mean at the end. It's those last couple levels are just it's really let's just throw everything we have at you. It's like every character you've ever seen. Let's throw 100 at you right now. I was feeling fatigue at the end there. I was like, okay, yeah, they're basically throwing me. They're just going to throw 200 enemies at me, just one after another, and this sucks. But that's just how it is. It's all right, well, it's the ultimate of boss rushes or whatever. It's every fucking thing you played, do that 100 times over. But yeah, I thought about we could just list some stuff that we would play again if there were updates to it, and I was going for stuff that had not been announced yet, but I could just go through mine. Yeah, my first one was obviously Doom 2016. I'd like to play.
I put that on there too. I got so close to the end. I think I would bet I'm 80% through the game, so I need to finish that up.
And I've always, I mean, obviously, I figured we're going to get a Xenoblade update of some sort, for Xenoblade Chronicles 1 through 3. But there's been no announcement of it yet. There was just like they just data mined and found the 120 FPS for Xeno X. But I was like, well, if they do an update of Xenoblade, like obviously I don't have time to play through these games or again because they're like fucking 200 hours or whatever. But I figured if they got updates, I would play through the DLC stuff, the shorter ones. I do like Torn of Country or what's it, Torn of the Golden Country, and I do like Future Redeemed and like I forget what the one on Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was, but the ones that were shorter, that were more like 20, 30 hours, like I'd play those again just to see like how much better it looks on Switch 2.
I could see them getting a significant update. If you look to what happened with the Zelda games, we got the Zelda Notes app, and that was a monolith game too.
Yeah. They worked on both. Breath and Tears.
Not knowing the Xenoblade games, could Xenoblade games benefit from some kind of app like that, showing a map and
sure, I guess. Yeah, stuff? I mean, there's a lot of land in those games. There's a lot to traverse. Maybe they could do places you cover.
One app for number 1, 2, and 3.
Maybe, but yeah, I thought about that. I was like, well, if we get a graphical upgrade, I would like to see what they look like. But I'll do the shorter versions, because I can't. There's no way I'm gonna be able to put like 600 hours into like the 3 Xenoblades again. As much as I love them, I just can't. It's not possible, But I'll do the short version. I'll put like, do like 90 hours or something and play, because I really like those extra ones that they throw in there, the DLC ones, and I bought them all, so I would do that. And I put Mortal Kombat 1 on there, just kind of as a joke. But there's actually been
it seems likely.
But there's actually been some new news that just happened. People were saying that like the Harry Potter game, whatever it's called, that one wasn't going to get an upgrade because like the new version is so much different than what the Switch 1 version was. But they just announced that it is actually getting a $10 upgrade for Switch 2, which I didn't think was going to happen because they kind of have to rebuild the whole thing, for Switch 2. But yeah, that was announced directly, and it's like, I mean, I know Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling is a total piece of shit, but I mean, she didn't do this game, I guess, if you still have any hopes for the series or whatnot. But you can get the game for really cheap right now, and you could get it for you could get that and the Switch 2 update for like $20,
Rather than paying $60 for the full version or whatever,
rather than paying like 60 or 70 or whatever it's going to be when it comes out. So I saw that, and that's a Warner Brothers game, so is Mortal Kombat 1, so that made me feel like maybe we'll get an update for Mortal Kombat.
I think we absolutely will, because I mean,
and they updated the fuck out of it. Yeah, they got a lot of shit when it came out. It didn't look great, but they did their diligence to make it look good. And what you see now on Mortal Kombat 1 is much different from what it was at launch. And I think they've actually made it a competent fighting game. And I just like this. I had a lot of fun with it. I still haven't played as T1000, so let me do that on Switch 2.
And we both know we always see Mortal Kombat 11 on sale like forever. It's always $10. I imagine that they want to keep that going, so they'd have to put a version on Switch 2, just so they can discount it and have it on sale forever.
Yeah, give me a $10 upgrade. I pay that to play Mortal Kombat 1 again. It's a fun game.
So yeah, you got Monster Hunter Rise on your list next, and I'm putting that on my list because I own that game and I haven't put any time into it really. Maybe 3 or 4 hours. Yeah,
we tried to kind of tried to like get you into it, because I think Jeremy bought it for you for Christmas one year, and we did do some like multiplayer stuff. And Monster Hunter Rise, I put like 300 hours into that game, and if they did an updated version of it,
did you play 300 hours of that?
Something like that. I thought it was close to, well, maybe more close to 2, but I mean, I did get over 100 for sure.
You really got into the expansions as well.
Yeah, I played a good amount of Sunbreak, but if they do an updated version for Switch 2, I'll totally go back to Monster Hunter Rise. I like that game a lot. Obviously, I put over 100 hours into it, but
I'd give it a shot again.
It was already a really, really pretty game on Switch 1, and it's going to be even fucking prettier on Switch 2. So I figured they would do an upgrade of it.
Yeah, I would have put this on my list, but I saw you already had it. But I agree with you.
Most of this list, I was kind of just looking at like. I looked at my folders. I was like, what do I have? Like, what were my game of the years? Like, what was stuff that I really, really liked? Like, what would I do again? Like, Luigi's Mansion 3 was already a fucking amazing game, like really beautiful game. But if they did like an updated, higher resolution, higher frame rate or whatever, I'd play that game again. That game is so good. Like
Especially if they added new content.
I would put that. Well, yeah, new content, 100%. But I mean, but that game was fucking awesome. Like it's one of my all timers, like all time favorite games on Switch. So I mean, I would totally play through that again just because it was so fucking good. I put that on my list. Luigi's Mansion 2 or Luigi's Mansion 3. I don't have 2. Well, I have it on 3DS, but not on Switch. Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, I know some people don't like it, but I love that game. And actually, when I saw that they were doing an update, well, actually, you don't get an update for Sonic X Generations. You have to buy a new one for Switch 2. That kind of pissed me off. But when I saw there were updates, I was like, oh, well, maybe they'll update Sonic Frontiers, and I can play that again at higher frame rate or whatever. And I think they're just gonna try to sell it to me again, which is mean. Just let me just update it and play it again because I like that game a lot. Sonic Frontiers, also Pikmin 4. I love that game. I beat it. I made it through the first credits, and I would totally play that game again. Switch 2 version. It was really, really cool. It was a lot like
cool with the mouse.
It was a lot like we could try out some mouse controls with it too. It was a lot like Pikmin 2, which was my favorite Pikmin before 4. So there you go. And I mentioned it before, but the Resident Evil games that were on cloud, I'd like to see those get native versions on Switch 2. And I 100% think we will.
They will.
I would get. I mean, I was hoping, as John was, that I was hoping they would just give me Village since I already bought it and I already bought all the DLC and all that stuff. You should just give it to me for free, but I'd pay $10 or in those games.
Give me your save file at least.
And then I'd like to play, there's other ones I haven't played. Like I'd like to play like Resident Evil 7 or like the remake of 2, which I played a little bit of. I do have it on PS4, but I never made it all the way through. Or like the remake of Resident Evil 3. Like I'd like to play all those other remakes on Switch too, So I would do that.
I think 3 was a little more, it wasn't received as well.
A lot of people didn't like 3 very much from what I heard. I mean, I think 3, even base 3 was not liked very well. Like in the PlayStation era, I don't think people really liked 3.
I think it has a niche audience because of the Nemesis and that interesting mechanics.
Sure,
that was a little different.
Most people I talked to liked 2 much better than 3, but between the two of them. And then I put like stuff that I didn't beat that I thought should get upgrades, like obviously Witcher 3. I mean, they did an impossible port to put it on Switch 1 to begin with, but I'd be really surprised if they didn't just clean it up and do like a Switch 2 version. Disco Elysium was like another one that I always kind of wanted to get into more, but I know it had a lot of issues like when it first launched, like with frame rates or whatever. I'd like to see a better version of that, and like Wolfenstein 2. Like I actually had a hard time getting into that because there's like no maps and everything kind of looks the same, and I kept getting lost. But I'd give it a try again, I guess. It's a shame because I love, I loved Wolfenstein, like the original one, but that had maps. The one on PC had maps. Wolfenstein 3D, you press like tab and it shows you a fucking map and you know where you're going. This one has like a static map that I could not figure out, so I got lost really easily. But I'd give it a try again because I already bought it. So, and that's my list. What did you guys got?
Well, I based my list on, like I said, I looked at y'all's lists. So you said a lot of stuff that I agreed with, but these are things that I sort of threw on there just to be like, especially if there was extra content. But these are all games I love enough that I would play through again. Echoes of Wisdom, first and foremost, because they haven't announced any sort of
that one. That one does have an update. Well, it's a free update that just makes the frame rate better, but nothing. But no like extra stuff.
Yeah, I want like extra content, and I would play more of that game because it was really fun. I thought the puzzles got a little easy at the end, but I don't know.
I had a good time with it. You should. You have that game also, John. You should play. You should play it. I thought
10 minutes of it.
I thought it was fucking great. It had a great.
It's a good game.
It had a great final boss. Like I really enjoyed it. Like it was like the last game I beat of the year. Like right before our best of episode. Like I did. Yeah, we kind of Jess and I kind of powered through it. But it was a good time. I had a really.
I
good
have
time
to push through the bottleneck of Tears of the Kingdom.
But you're not.
And once I beat that, yes.
Yeah, but you're not playing it now because you're waiting on Switch 2, so you could.
I'm waiting on Switch 2, so I'll play it
something else.
Most glorious possibility. The vision of it. But I think I'm gonna push through that very quickly when Switch 2 comes.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a 2 or 3 day beat, but if they added some extra stuff to it, I would be happy to play through it again and try out some new combinations for the puzzles and stuff because there's a lot of creativity in there. It's got some of the Tears of the Kingdom DNA a little bit in there. Katana Zero, I loved that game so much, and they sort of kind of
they're still doing it. Did you see there was a new video just released about the free DLC? It's
like a month or so ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is. They are still. I mean, it's not from like Switch 2, but the company promises they are still adding free DLC because it didn't really end. The game didn't really end.
Yeah, and it just says coming sometime. It gave no date. It was just reassurance. They're still.
I think they did like a hard mode or something like that. They did like an actual like update at one point, but it was more just about tweaking the gameplay. It was less about adding new stuff, I thought, or maybe they added maybe it was like a speed run mode or something. I can't remember what it was, but they did add something initially, and that's all I've ever played. But yeah, more content in Katana Zero. That was one of the cool games on the Switch that I still think about. And
Very
that came out
good.
like 5 years ago. Yeah.
I'll get that once the DLC comes out.
Really good soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack for that also because it was very tight. Very good soundtrack.
John, I'm surprised this wasn't on your list, so I had to mention it. Mario Maker 2. I'll play a lot more Mario Maker 2 if they add extra Switch functionality to it and maybe like a second screen kind of thing if they ever were to do that. But especially with the mouse controls, like that could be really great.
It could be great. Yeah, the reason it wasn't on my list is because I would think that if it shows up as a special edition, that means they're not doing Mario Maker 3, or that they're using it as some kind of like a bellwether to see if there's interest in Mario Maker 3. Like I just want Mario Maker 3. Like I don't want the series put to the test, or is there still interest in that? Bring out Mario Maker 3. Just do it.
Yeah,
makes absolute sense.
Yeah,
there is always that like extra spot that we thought we were gonna get extra artwork or from a different Mario game in the menu, and it's like that's
there's still like empty spaces, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be really cool if this came back with an upgraded version, and I would totally play through it again. I would play through the single player mode again. That was fun. Like all the NintenDomain courses were cool. Once again, that was like an afternoon or whatever, but it was fun.
But then, I think maybe Mario Maker should be re-envisioned as a Fortnite of sorts. That should just be, one program that you get, and it's ever evolving, and maybe you pay for
free to
new
play
upgrade packs. Yeah,
pay for Mario skins. Pay to get John Cena and Mario Maker 3.
Sure, yeah.
I mean that's a Fortnite. So there's John Cena skins in there. I've seen them. Even though you say you can't see them, I've seen it.
Like if you want the Mario Wonder look or whatever, pay your $5 or $10, or if you want even let's think big Super Mario 64. Come on,
yeah,
that can be done.
I'd like to see. I don't know if this. Let's say I don't want to jump on you if it's already on your list. The what was it? The Game Builder Garage that could be really cool with mouse controls.
That could be cool too.
And also, I would love for them to just make the way you share levels better, because it was the way it was. It was really hard. You need to like codes, like let you just go to a portal where you can just look at everything that people have made and you can search stuff. Like I don't know why that wasn't in there. Like that seems like a missed opportunity.
Mario Maker.
I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with the takedown stuff, like because they were like even Dreams by Sony was getting
because of penis levels or whatever.
Well, not even just
like
that, but they were
censorship.
making like people figured out how to make like Mario levels and stuff in Dreams, and Nintendo was doing takedown notices and stuff. So I think like it would have been the same thing in Game Builder Garage if they had an easy save, and Nintendo didn't want that PR nightmare.
I mean, but that's the nature of the game, right? Like, I feel like I saw some decent looking stuff in Game Builder Garage. Even I saw people make like Sonic levels or Sonic looking levels and stuff like that. But I mean, this is what the game is. Just let us play it. Like, this is what it's made to be. Like, let it be what it is. And let people try
people
out.
Always going to find a way.
It's a user created content game. That's just what it is. So let it be that.
Even in Mario Maker, people find a way to make levels that are themed after things that are absolutely not in Mario Maker. Other popular games or whatever. They just get creative and figure out a way. Somebody made a first person dungeon crawler, like
or calculators or Seinfeld songs or whatever, like
right. So that's the nature of the thing you created. Just let it be.
Yeah, just put it out there. As long as it's not like dicks or whatever, like, just let it be. And it's whatever. It's on a Nintendo system. Who cares if Sony makes a fucking Mario level? Like, it's on the Switch. Like, it's fine. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
One I really thought was a great game that I kind of wish I had finished, but I never did actually finish because it got really hard. But Neon White, that game was so cool.
Yeah, I want to go back and finish that game too. Oh, I got to a boss and I just didn't know what to do at the boss part because just the nature of the way the game works, it just wasn't. But yeah, it'd be cool.
New content in that, like just kind of like bring it back, and I would be more inclined to finish it, I think, in some new context. But what a great game! That's just like it's like a first-person speed run, like acrobatic game. That's a little bit like what's that game that was on that was really popular on Xbox back in the day?
Oh, the Mirror. What was it called? Something Mirror.
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge. Yeah,
that one.
It's like that's the closest game I could compare it to, and it's not at all.
I think it's better than that.
Like that. It's better, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of got a similar vibe where you're kind of
The look of it.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah, a lot of platforming.
But what a cool game.
And you also get there's like a card. Isn't there like a card collecting thing to it as well? Like you can only do certain things a certain amount of time, which I always thought was really cool. Yep. And there's the big speed run aspect. I thought it was really good, actually. I wish I wouldn't have gotten stuck. I should go back and try it again. But no, I thought it was a really great, unique first-person shooter.
Dragon Quest XI, just a gem of a game in general, but on the Switch it was like especially good.
Yeah, the S version, and you still got stuff.
I would play
you still got
again.
Stuff to do on there. You didn't even.
I do.
You didn't make it to second credits. You still got.
I did not.
I think I put 200 hours in that one too. It was on my old. To see, this is another thing we're gonna have to deal with when we get to Switch 2. All your shit like resets, so you won't be able to see like how long you played the game. I mean, it'll still say it on your profile, but it won't have it like as to where everything's like ranked. It'll wipe all that. But on my original Switch, Dragon Quest XI was at the top there. That one.
Oh, it's way up. It's way up.
It was up there with Monster Hunter Rise and the other Xenoblades and all that.
Yeah, just a fantastic game. It would be a great excuse to play it again if there was something updated for the Switch 2 version. And like I said, it's just an excuse to play a game I love again. And it's been long enough. I think it was 2019 when it came out on the Switch. It's been 6 years. I could play it again.
Definitely.
I want to hang out with Silvano again. He's awesome.
Yeah, Silvano's great. They're all great. You can hang out with Eric.
Yeah.
Whenever I was watching the JRPG countdown, and whenever I see one of the silver slimes or the gold slime, I'm like, critical claim. Did you learn how to do critical claim with Eric? It's
no.
It's the best move in the whole game. If you learn critical claim, you can get critical at all times. So that's how you get to level 100, because you always hit the golden slimes and the metal slimes. So if you have that,
just get crazy experience.
If you have that move, you can get mad experience from the slimes. That's how I got to level 100 for all my characters in that game, and that's how I did it with critical claim. One of the best moves in the game for Eric.
You said the boss was still hard, even like maxed out.
I couldn't do the super boss. There's like 2 super bosses, because I beat the game again and got second credits, but there's also like 2 super bosses after that.
Yeah.
That I could not beat. That still like one-shotted me. So it's still fucking hard as hell. Like and it caps at 100. I couldn't go any higher than that. So I mean, but I could try it again, I guess. That time worm. Yeah. Oh my god, that thing sucked. Yeah, the fucking time worm was probably the worst one. But yeah, it was just like boom, 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 everybody dead, 1 round. I'm like,
jeez.
So yeah, it's fucked up. But yeah, that game's awesome.
I love the Slime Rancher games. So if they brought a Slime Rancher collection or something that was updated for the Switch 2, I would play through those again. They're such mindless games, but they're just right up my alley. Like it's a Minecraft like, where you're sort of building a farm where you're making money and you're just trying to make more and more money to upgrade, and you just keep doing that over and over again until you run out of stuff to upgrade. And I love games like that. So Slime Rancher on Switch 2, I would play it again, especially if they put like 2 on there, which I think is currently a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, we didn't get 2. We only got 1.
Pokemon Scarlet.
That
was
one,
a good
yeah,
game.
that one
I
is
played
getting
a lot more of.
that one is getting a free upgrade, but I
Yeah.
think hopefully it just makes it better. But the other one in your list, they did. I thought about putting it on there because nobody said anything about that one. But yeah, no,
Yeah, Arceus. I never finished Arceus, and it's one of my greatest shames of the Switch generation. I loved that game. I thought it was probably the coolest 3D Pokemon. I don't know why I didn't finish it, but as far as like how it is, like so much of it like carried over into uh, Scarlet, like it kind of influenced the other Pokemon games because it was so good and the real time Pokemon catching mechanic. And so yeah, I like it. I would play a lot more of Arceus in like an upgraded version that looked better and it's been long enough since I played it that it would be like a new game.
yeah, you forget about it. I know why you stopped playing Arceus. It's a little game called Elden Ring.
That's right.
That's what you stopped playing it because we were both playing it like crazy, and then Elden Ring came out, and you didn't touch it after that.
I even remember like when I first started playing Elden Ring, like I was like, oh shit, like Arceus taught me this that I need to like crouch in the bushes when the bad guys walk by and they can't see me. It's like I'm hiding from Pokemon, but I'm hiding in this case. I'm hiding from these horrific beasts, mutated beasts or whatever. But they didn't see me. Pokemon taught me that.
Pokemon taught you to walk so you could run in Elden Ring.
And lastly, a little game called Mario Odyssey, which was a launch window. I guess not actually, but it was a launch window Switch game. It came out in that incredible first year, where it just seemed like, how the hell could you have like a new Zelda and a new Mario in the same year? But they did it, and it was wonderful. And it's been long enough since I played through it. You know, occasionally I'll go back to it and play, you know, start a new file and play a little bit or whatever, just because I kind of want to remember, like, on one hand, I remember it as being so fun and so great, but on the other hand, I like repeatedly forget about it when I think about the greatness of 3D Mario games. Like, I'll still think about Galaxy before I'll think of Odyssey. I'll still think about Mario 64 or Sunshine before I think of Odyssey, but Odyssey was really good. And why couldn't they add some stuff to it? Why couldn't they add some levels or something and make it cooler? But if nothing else, just an overall improvement.
They're doing
to it all.
a graphical upgrade and all that.
I was going to say, I was just going to say, I don't think Odyssey has actually got an announcement saying that it's getting an update.
I didn't think so.
For Switch 2.
I thought so.
No, it from what I've seen, it was not on the list of ones that were updated, which is weird. So yeah, it definitely was not on there.
And specifically because it had like a lot of elements of Sunshine in it. It was kind of the first time in a long time that they acknowledged Sunshine in a way. So I like that we eventually did get Sunshine on the Switch through that really dumb port, but you know, it was the game and I beat it. But Odyssey is a great game and I would love to play through it some more. And I would especially love if, you know, they released it an upgraded version as a promotion for a sequel.
Actually,
Odyssey 2.
I'm wrong. It's right here. It's on the Nintendo website right at the top. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey gets a free update, but no bonus stuff. Just a free update that'll make it run better.
I want bonus stuff.
And Game Builder Garage is actually on this list too. Weirdly enough, which I would have never.
I think that I suspect the Game Builder Garage update is just to remove the IR camera.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yes, they don't want any sort of like dead features on that game. I think they're just going to delete that stuff, and that'll be that.
I think it's a truncated version of Game Builder Garage.
Yeah,
it's funny that they're still
downgrade.
Funny they're still updating ARMS. So many people that play that game still. It's like
So there must be somebody playing. I mean, they know what everybody's playing, and if they're updating ARMS, that means somebody's out there playing it,
right?
You remember that brief period of time where everybody was thirsty for the chick from ARMS with her butt?
Yeah, I mean, there's some hot characters in that game.
They're like, look at her butt in the graphics. The butt graphics are great.
If you don't mind that her arms are noodles,
like
you know.
$5 million on butt physics or something, supposedly in the Grand Theft Auto 6.
The ramen one, Min Min, was it? The Jess calls her a noodle arm dragon arm. So that's what we call it. Is what we call Min Min.
One noodle arm, one dragon arm.
Because they Jess found the amiibo for me. It was like noodle arm dragon arm. And I was like, yep, that one. because one arm's Noodle, one arm's Dragon. Noodle arm, Dragon arm. That will forever be Min Min's name to me.
Which there is a dragon arm in Elden Ring, so once again, a Nintendo influence.
There you go. And Elden Ring's coming to Switch too, sometime.
It is.
Well, on my list, I've only got a couple. Sifu, top of the list. That game, I don't know, it re-entered my mind recently. I did beat it, but it's a roguelike, and so did I beat it? I don't know. I didn't get like all the moves. There's a whole bunch of moves you can earn and stuff you can earn every time you go through. So I got a lot more juice to squeeze from that game, and I'd love to do that on Switch too.
It's one of those games that seemed like it was made for you. Like
it's my favorite beat 'em up ever. Like I think it's the best beat 'em up of all time, bar none. It feels like a martial arts movie. You feel like, even though you're just flicking your thumbs around, you feel like you're doing martial arts. And everything just feels so fluid. It largely avoids the beat 'em up, the 3D beat 'em up trope of like a bunch of guys just waiting around for their turn to fight you.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of that, but they do such a good job of masking it and having everybody sort of.
See, the bosses are tricky. The bosses are very intelligent, and
bosses are intelligent and creative and distinct from one another. Yeah, and fun. Most of all, the bosses are actually fun. So when you have to go back and refight them again and again and again, you're having a good time. You just, there was that Bruce Lee quote of "Be like water," and this game makes you feel like you're being like water. You're just like flowing through it, and you're like, "Wow, I can't believe I just did that move." You feel almost like the superhero at the beginning of every superhero movie when he just gets his powers, Tobey Maguire looking at his hands going like, wow, did I just do that? That's what you feel like when you're playing Sifu.
I feel like Jackie Chan and Rumble in the Bronx, where I'm just like fighting and then I'm grabbing a random item and using that. And
it's like, give me a ladder. I'll beat you up with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's so much of the level integration just like that. You just feel like, you recognize that there's a ladder nearby, and with a button press, you're suddenly doing cool moves with the ladder. And it's a beat 'em up game that doesn't feel like it's just like existing in a void or something where you're just fighting guys. Like the environment is actually part of the story and part of how you're choreographing all your moves. And there's a lot of also context sensitive things in that way. So.
Context sensitive.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff where there's just like little one-off things that happen, and you just do it with pressing the same one or two different buttons that you're pressing the whole time. It's the best controlling beat 'em up game. It's my favorite beat 'em up game. So bring it back and bring some extra DLC. That game actually has been out for a long time. I don't think it ever got. No wait, it had some mode that I really didn't engage with, like where you could like cut movies or something like that.
Oh it had like a movie editor type thing, right, where you can record yourself.
Did get DLC, but I didn't really play it. Well, anyway, on the Switch 2 with Sifu, I'll play it on there. Bramble, one of my games of the year.
That was that was pretty high on your.
Just as an aside, I bought that game last night. I bought it with my gold points. It was on sale.
Oh,
nice.
I own it.
Oh, I'm excited.
You still got gold points?
Yeah, I used the last of my gold points for Bramble last night.
Nice.
And I think I had to spend like $1 or something to make up the difference. But yeah, I own that game now, even though the demo frustrated the shit out of me. I'm going to try it again.
Well, I'm excited for you to try it again because I know you liked Little Nightmares, and it's a game sort of
Little Nightmares I don't like.
You don't like? Oh
no, it scares the shit out of me.
Too scary.
Well, it's scary. Yeah.
Like it's too scary for me.
Oh, I got you. Well, if you can brace yourself, I think you'll enjoy this game. I'm excited to hear your opinion of it because I thought it was just like a nice video game interpretation of a fairy tale, and I mean like a Grimm's fairy tale, like one of the Unforgiving fairy tales. It's a game where you're a little 8-year-old boy and you're just going to face every horror without any mercy. Lots of really eerie, creepy stuff in there, and it just
definitely
kind of
has like
an
skin. Inside vibe, or like
certainly.
What's the other one inside? And there's the other one that was
Limbo.
Limbo.
Yeah.
It's taking a page from those games for sure. But the cool, unique twist on it is that it's Nordic folklore, which you don't see that really much in video games. I've never seen it in video games anyway. I'm not talking about like God of War, Greek gods, that kind of stuff.
Not
Like-
since the Thor game that came out on Wii. No, I'm kidding. That was a shitty game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no, like the kind of like Nordic, like the Aesop's tales, but like
Yeah.
actually,
their version of that.
wasn't
that
it
kind of
wasn't it like Senua's Sacrifice? Like those games were Nordic, which is actually
Really?
really really good. The version they did on Switch was incredible. Like it was probably one of
That
the
was
best
a cloud
ports.
version too, right?
No, that was native. They actually did it really really well, and it looked incredible. Like for, I would say it's the same
What's
thing.
called Hellblade.
Yeah. Hellblade was it? There's two of them. I thought I played through one of them. It's not very long, but it just is really really good, and the combat is really interesting, and
yeah.
and it looks fucking incredible. But I think that one has like Nordic stuff in it as well.
Yeah, and Bramble really surprised me with its storytelling, its pacing, and its final boss is one of my favorites of all time. It felt like it was building up to this crescendo, and like man, it hit big. So kudos to this team, which I think is a small team, and I believe this was their second game. They just did a phenomenal job. I loved it. I want to see a special edition coming on Switch too. Cruise and Blast, we all played this game and loved it.
Yes.
Like, there's more.
Yeah.
That seems like something
Cruise and
that
Blast.
would be in their interest, with the renewed energy behind Switch 2, like the Cruise and Blast team. I could see them putting out some DLC finally.
Maybe Raw Thrills.
Yeah, Raw Thrills. Yeah, they're very active, still making arcade games and all that.
Yeah, they
But-
made like a spiritual successor to NBA Jam, right?
NBA
like
Jam, which
like,
actually there's a copy of that
uh,
down the street from me. I have Dave and Buster's pretty much about a mile away from me, which confirmed they have that. I need to go over there and use up some of these spare tokens that I have in my pocket. So, yes, bring us some Cruise and Blast DLC, some new levels and all that. I'd love to see it. Another game that was one of my games of the year, I think, or it was high on the list anyway. My Friend Pedro, which has never received any DLC. That's genuinely surprising to me that never received any DLC, because it just seems like the way that game is, the sort of simplicity of it and structure of it just seems very open to just like, hey, here's some more levels for you, go. I loved the fluidity of it along the lines of, this is like, you guys had Katana Zero. For me, I had My Friend Pedro. I think they're kind of in the same lane, ballet, gunplay, and all that kind of stuff. That was just an amazing game. I put a lot of time into it, and I want to put more time into it. I know that we have Shotgun Cutman now, which I need to pick that one up too, which is from the same creator.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is that one. I mean, did you played the demo a little bit, right?
I did. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played all the way through the demo, and I liked it a lot too. I just didn't want
I
to
let-
drop the $10 on it, but yeah, no, I thought it was good.
My last one is probably the game that I was the most hyped for, that I just like dropped the most swiftly, which was Mario Strikers Battle League. You go back and listen to some of our episodes leading up to that. I was really hyped for that game because I've said it many times. I like soccer games. I like hockey games, action sports games of those types. And I was really, really excited for this game. Going back to the Wii one, that one on Wii, I really played that one a lot. I had a lot of fun playing that one online.
Strikers
Yeah.
Charge.
Yeah.
Well, Strikers Gamecube game is coming to Nintendo Switch
It is
Online,
coming.
so
Yeah.
you get to play that one again. But yeah, you were super excited for it. But I mean, I don't know if you dropped it quicker or Nintendo did, because it really was like out there and then done. I felt like it was
Boom,
there and
done.
done like so quickly. Like they stopped adding shit to that like a month after it came out or so. I felt like they dropped support for that so quickly. So I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't just you. Nintendo did it too. Yeah,
I feel like they could have just looked to Rocket League to how to do it. Like but they're Nintendo is a huge company with many games to support and all that, so they just I think didn't have the motivation to do that. But I think the potential was there, still remains for Mario Strikers to be like a big esports game. And I think that was sort of the spirit of the moment. Like it felt like they were trying to make it an esports thing. And it felt like they tried for about 4 weeks or so, and they were like, well, that didn't work. And then they gave up. It's like, no, you gotta like keep at it. Rocket League took some time to build up to where it's at. And I think that game is going on 10 years strong now, right? I believe. I don't know when
It's
that game
gotta
came
be.
out.
It's owned by
It's been out for a
Fortnite
long
now.
time.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I always said
Fortnite, yeah.
Fortnite owns it now.
Yeah, don't you guys think that if they could do something like that, like make this a Rocket League kind of thing where it just goes on?
Could have done
and on?
something with it.
Yeah, they could have done something with it, but give us an update and maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it was. They dropped that so quickly. It was like, here it is, and it's gone, which is a shame because you were really excited about it.
Here I am, and now I got to be on.
But that's it. Yeah, but anyway, we're going to take a break here, and John's going to leave, and we'll do the second half, just Jeremy and I. So cool. Let's take a break, and then they'll be back.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go! And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
We are back.
Anyway, hey, we're back from the break. It's just Jeremy and I here, but let's talk about what we normally talk about and talk about games we got and games we've been playing for the week. We both got some games beat for the week, so that's
We
cool.
did. I feel proud of myself.
Yeah, I said
You should too.
I said that I was going to do it, and I did it. Damn it, I stuck to what I said. I said that I was going to beat Metal Gear Solid 1, and I did.
You've played the actual original one? Like, is this like an upscaled one or something, or is it like the old graphics?
Well, this is on the Metal Gear Solid collection on Switch, which I bought for $15, which is pretty good actually. I played it. Yeah, this is the PlayStation 1 version. It's supposedly one of the better versions. I watched a video about, whatever, like they're like even emulators don't you can't, there's like parts that have problems, and this is one of the better, this is the best version to play if it's not on PS1 or whatever. But I played it on I played in pixel perfect mode, and it looked very cool. And yeah, it's a PS1 ass game. And what's crazy about this game, and I couldn't believe it, like most of the time when they re-release old games, like PlayStation 1 games or GameCube games or 64 games or whatever, they let you have save states. There are no save states in this game. This is, you got to beat this game the same way that you did on the fucking PS1.
In 1999.
And this game,
whatever it was.
I'm kind of proud of myself because this is a hard ass game. Like this is definitely, there were some parts that I'm sure the people who, the rooms that are next to me at this hotel thought I was trying to kill somebody in here because I was like, you stupid motherfucker, because I was like yelling at the TV. But like, these fucking bosses are nuts. Like some of these bosses are fucking stupid. Like there was a couple times where I just rage beat the boss, and I don't know how I did it. Like there was this one. Did you ever play? You didn't play through Metal Gear Solid 1, did you?
I have not. I've only gotten through like the opening sequence a couple of times, and I always stopping for some reason.
Yeah, it's got its awkwardness just because it's an older game, like just the way you play it. But I mean, I think it's impressive on a lot of levels, just for what
I actually have
just for
twin
what it
snakes
did
as well. Yeah, I have twin snakes, and I haven't played through that either.
I mean, playing it now, playing the PlayStation 1 version, I think the twin snakes is way easier than also it has it has the upgrades that you would see that you see in Metal Gear Solid 2, which I did play a little bit of that game too. But yeah, it's like you get the first person mode. You can you can look around, you can see a lot more. This one is just top down all the time. I mean, there is a first person mode, but you can't really shoot while you're doing it. You can just look around and that sort of thing. And as far as like sneaking around in that, and it's not really that bad. You can't really screw yourself. Like they'll be like there's like rations that you use to heal yourself. Like they'll show back up again, like when you leave a room and come back. Like there's ways you can you can keep yourself like fully ammoed up and have your healing items and all that. But the bosses can be fucking brutal. And was it last week? Yeah, after we were done recording last week, I went back and played the game some more, and I played Gray Fox for the first time. Gray Fox is the ninja, if you remember. And like every fucking character in this game is not who they are. Like it's
right.
This is the ultimate like, oh, I'm not really this. Oh, I'm really backstabbing you on this. Oh, I'm this other thing. I'm like, I think everybody in the game except for like Mei Ling and like Otacon and Snake and Meryl are like probably the only ones that are genuine. But everybody else is like not who they are. Like they all have this like, oh no, I'm really this person. I'm actually doing this. Or there's this like, I was thinking about it today, like at work, like. It's amazing how fucking dramatic. It's just like two static faces talking to each other, like the codex, where it's just two sprites with their mouths moving, and just how compelling their conversation is. And there's just nothing happening. There's just these two sprites talking back and forth, and you're so into everything they're saying, and there's all this fucking codec drama that will go on for like 20 minutes maybe. Of them like being like, oh no, I'm really this person, or I'm this person, or I'm whatever. You like every single person, like almost everyone you talk to on codec, is not who they are. Like you find out that
their sprite changes at some point.
Yeah, no, actually their sprites change all the time. Like, which is cool because like when you're like I mean, sure like plenty of stuff about Metal Gear Solid 1. I'm sure everybody does. Like Snake gets kidnapped, you get tortured. Like when you get your like shirt, when you're like kidnapped and you're not wearing your shirt. Your sprite shows up without a shirt. Like you can tell that he's shirtless. Yeah. Like you'll see stuff like that. Or like when you talk to Meryl over the codec, she'll like take her mask off and put it back on. Like you see animations like that, where it'll show like what they're doing. And when like the character's like, oh no, I'm really this person. Like their sprite will change to whatever they are, like so. But yeah, there's all these different fucking twists and turns like throughout the whole game. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, I first started having kind of a hard time playing against Gray Fox, which that battle seems like so long ago now, looking back on it, and that was just a week ago. But I mean, Gray Fox, when you played it on the GameCube one, there was kind of a cheat. They had there's a little Yoshi statue and a little Mario statue, and if you shoot the Mario statue, it makes a 1-up, and you can actually get your life back by doing that. Which I remember that being easy, but yeah, Gray Fox really is not that hard compared to like Vulcan Raven and fucking Liquid Snake. Like, oh my god, I was feeling like how I felt when I beat like Metal Gear Solid 4 the first time. Where like, I mean, I love Metal Gear Solid 4, but at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, it's very much like it goes and goes and goes and goes. And it's like, is it over? Nope, not over. Still going. It's like the end just like goes and goes and goes. And I was like, when is this game going to end? It's like, what? It's like, is Snake going to die? Is he not going to die? What the fuck is happening? Like, it just kept going and going and going. And I kind of felt the same thing with like Liquid Snake. I was like so fucking tired of him by the end of the game because you have to fight him like 10 times. Like he does not die. He like dies and he's like, oh no, I'm here again. And then he dies. Then he's here again. And I'm like, even at the very, very end of the game, spoilers, he shows up and I'm like, oh my God, Liquid Snake, you have to fucking die. You get out of here. And then he shows up in 2, right? He possesses was Ocelot's arm, like his new arm is Liquid Snake. So you can't get away from him. He's never going away. But no, I think the worst. I mean, the first worst battle I had was Vulcan, and Vulcan Raven is all the bad guys. They all have animal names. You know, there's Sniper Wolf, there's Ocelot, there's Gray Fox, there's Vulcan Raven. You know, like was it Decoy Octopus? Like everybody has like a different like creature, and Snake, of course. Like it's all incorporated together, and they always say like, well, you know, wolves hunt snakes, and they'll talk about like their animal persona or whatever versus you know they'll say that during the fight. And whenever they get killed, they have these like beautiful deaths, you know, where they talk about like the existence and the world and like Vulcan, when he dies, he's like, oh, I want the ravens to eat me and I can become one with the earth and I will forever watch you, Snake. Like it's like they have these like epic deaths where they just like tell you all this fucking crazy shit. And that's kind of what the game is about, is death. Because at the very end of it, it's very much like, Snake, you're alive. You don't know for how long, but you're alive. And you have to live. Since you're alive, you have to live. Like, it's all this, like, it's all this shit thrown at you. But I love it. But yeah, Vulcan Raven, he's like this guy carrying this, like, giant fucking minigun. And he can just, like, tear you down. And you're in this big, like, it's like you're playing cat and mouse, basically. And Snake is the mouse, and Vulcan is the cat, obviously. And he's chasing you through this maze. And you have to kind of like, you can see where he's at, but you got to get around and find a way to shoot him like with the rocket without him turning around and hitting you. And you can actually, if you shoot him from far enough away, he can shoot the rocket out of the air with his gun and hit you as well. So like it gets really hard. And I kind of was just like, I was like, all right, I'm going to look online. There's got to be like some secret way to do this. And I saw a few different like cheats, you know, that I couldn't get to work. There's one where you do like the self-guided rocket where supposedly you can just keep hitting him over and over again and it'll get in this loop. It didn't work for me. He kept shooting the rocket out of the air. Like I couldn't get that to work. But I saw this one guy that was like on Reddit that was like, just go up to him and just put the mines under him. Just keep doing the claymores just over and over and over again. It's like he'll get hurt more than you do, and just do that and you can kill him. And I tried it once and I got pretty far. So I was like, all right, well, I won't do that. But I got like halfway through, like just doing the regular just shooting him with the rocket, you know, where you got to aim it and it'll chase him, but he can shoot it out of the air. So you got to be really careful. You got to hit him without him knowing about it and all that. And I was like halfway through and I just got so fed up that I just ran up to him and I just kept dropping claymores at his feet until he died. And that's how I beat him. And that's
awesome.
And I couldn't believe that it actually worked.
Yeah, Reddit helped you.
Yeah. So, but I did the same thing where I just kept dropping mines. And it was hitting both of us. But yeah, he was getting hurt more than I was getting hurt. And I had a couple rations left still. So yeah, I just laid him at his feet and I just kept doing it over and over and over again. And then he died. And I was like, oh my God, that's how I did it.
That's what's known as cheesing.
Yeah, I did cheese Vulcan Raven. But I mean, he's fucking hard. Like that. Yeah. This game is hard. And I did not know that you could not save state until I was like halfway through. And I was playing it on normal mode, which may have been a harder version or something. Maybe I played it on easy when I played it originally on GameCube or whatever, but I beat the game. I beat the fucking PlayStation 1 game. So
yeah, you beat it in a week too. I find that
I beat it.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's how long to beat? Said it was 10 hours. It took me 14 hours to get through it, but I was determined. I was like, I'm going to get through this game.
I feel like that 14 hours is just the cutscenes. I don't get it.
Yeah, no. 14 hours was it. It was 10 hours of me getting beaten by a Vulcan Raven, and then the other 4 hours was me just walking around. No, it was I feel like there's a big part of that was me just getting my ass beat by all these different characters. But the final boss you have against Liquid Snake is the worst. Like that's the meanest thing because you fight this fucking metal, like he's in the Metal Gear. You meet the Metal Gear, obviously. You got to fight that Metal Gear at the end of the game, which is a giant fucking robot that can shoot nuclear weapons out of it or whatever. And you have to. So you get to the Metal Gear, and Liquid Snake is in the Metal Gear, and you can't damage it. Like none of the armor is damageable, but you have to call Otacon and have Otacon tell you that you have to shoot. There's like a radar on the side of it. And you destroy the radar, and once you destroy the radar, then you can't aim because you can't see because it needs this electronic radar or whatever. But in order for your weapon to target the radar, you have to call Otacon every time. You have to play every time you restart. You have to call Metal Gear again. You have to call Otacon again so he can tell you how to fight the Metal Gear. And you have to do this, and then you blow up the radar. But it's not over yet. You blow up the radar. And then there's a cutscene where Gray Fox shows up and he saves you, and you're about to destroy Metal Gear, but you can't because you destroy Gray Fox. So you have to go through all of this. You can't skip this. And then there's a second part where you have to blow up. So since there's no radar, the Metal Gear like opens its mouth, and Liquid has to actually look at you, and you have to shoot at him when he's exposed in the Metal Gear. So you have to play this thing twice, and there's no checkpoints at all.
And all those like cutscenes.
And you have to go through all these cutscenes every time too. Yeah, I think that was what almost killed me. Was that was just like that? I have to go through and talk to Otacon every time. And I kind of did another rage thing where I was just like, I'm so pissed, and I just pulled up my bazooka and I just kept shooting the radar over and over and over and over again. And I actually destroyed it in the first round pretty quickly, just from hitting the button, just from my own rage of the boss, just being like, all right, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. But then I got killed after that because I didn't have any rations left because I had to keep my life up to beat the thing. But yeah, I looked on Reddit again, like from like 20 years ago. Somebody, I found this trick where if you can like stay under his legs and he can't see you, and you basically kind of wait, and you can shoot him from behind and it'll hit him, even though you're supposed to hit him from the front. There's a trick. I watched a video of somebody doing it, and that's how I got through. But it's like. But then after that, you have to fight him again on top of the Metal Gear. And I was like, if there's no checkpoint here, like, I'm going to be so mad if I have to do like all three of these parts like together without getting. But thankfully, there's a checkpoint there. Okay. So you fight him in the Metal Gear, and then you fight him again in the Metal Gear, and then you fight him on top of the Metal Gear, and then you knock him off of the Metal Gear, and then you have to get in a car with Meryl, and she like drives you through the tunnels, and you have to shoot all these people, and you also have to shoot. And then Liquid Snake shows up again in a car, and you have to shoot him in the car as he's chasing you. And it's like, dude, just give it up already, man. Like, just leave me alone. But yeah, there's two different endings. I'm sure you know about the torture. There's a torture sequence where Ocelot tortures you, which that's really hard too. I had to bring back my old button tapping from Mario Party. The stuff that Tim taught me, where it's like where you got to like do it like that to do it super quick. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. It's the old teachings from Master Tim of the very quick tapping from Tim Ryan of the old Mario Party belt owner. But yeah, I had to do that because it's basically like he'll torture you and you have to tap A really quickly, and he'll do it 4 times, and the amount of time that he does it goes up every time. And if you run out of, basically you hit A to refill your life, and he's like zapping you and getting rid of your life. And if you can't fill up your life quick enough, then you'll get a game over, and you can't continue. So you have to start at the beginning of it again. But you can submit. You can, and if you submit, then Meryl dies, and there's a different ending. So that's so the canon ending is you resisting the torture and all that. And I don't remember it being that hard, but it was much harder in the PlayStation version. But yeah, I learned a lot. I played Psycho Mantis, was always one of my favorite bosses. I'm sure you remember Psycho Mantis. He's the guy, he reads your memory card, and that's like how he reads your mind. He's like, I'll look at your memory code. Oh, you like Suikoden, but this game, it doesn't, I guess since it's like a ROM of the PlayStation 1 game, it can't actually read your memory card. So if you want him to, there's this whole like weird, stupid way to do it. Like you have to go in, you have to like exit the game and go into like edit saves, and you can take fake saves of other Konami games and put it on your virtual game card, and that's how he will read your game card. It's like so stupid. Like
That's really dumb because that takes you out of the immersion.
well, you have to do it up front. I didn't even know about it because I got to him and I was like, well, is he going to read my? I was like, I got a bunch of Konami games. Like, is he going to see my Castlevania collection or whatever? But no, he's like, you don't have any. He's like, you're clean, you know, because he doesn't see anything on your memory card. And I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, there had to be something about that. So I looked it up, and yeah, you had to have edited your fake saves at the beginning for him to read it, and then you can put everything on there, and he'll be like, oh, you like Castlevania, you like whatever, you know, but.
I don't like that. I feel like it should have just automatically read your
It's
Switch.
stupid, right? But I guess because of the nature of what it is, it can't read your because it's a PlayStation 1 game. I don't know because I don't know what. Apparently, because it had to read an actual PlayStation, so you would have to make a virtual. Basically, it does the same thing like PS3 does, where you make like a virtual save card, and then you save onto it. You know, it's
I see what you mean.
It's the same sort of thing. You're creating a virtual save card, but then you have to put saves on there for it to read it. It should have told you this in the game. Like, it never told me about it. I had to look it up, you know, but whatever.
That's a little disappointing, but I guess I get it. And if it's an accurate emulation of, you have to even emulate your card.
On the GameCube one, it will read your GameCube card, and it'll be like, you know, it'll be like, oh, you like Super Mario Brothers. Like, it'll talk about Nintendo games because it's a Nintendo produced thing. And then, of course, it'll say like, oh, you played Eternal Darkness, you know, because it was made by Silicon Knights and all that. Mm-hmm. But this one, yeah, you have to change it or whatever. And there's the trick, like, you know, Psycho Mantis is like, watch, I'll do a magic trick. Put your controller on the ground, and, you know, you put your controller on the ground, you have to turn the rumble on, and then the controller moves around, you know, is the idea, is that he's moving it with his mind. That really blew people away way back in 96 or whenever this came out, or 97 or 98 or whenever it was.
I think it was 99.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't quote me on that. I mean, I just knew, because didn't PlayStation like launch in 96? I mean, but Metal Gear wasn't until we were in college.
This is a very late PlayStation 1 game.
Oh, it would make sense because it looks fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks very good. It definitely feels like a,
because they had time to release they did like a better edition of it, but still on the PS1, and then I think eventually it came to the PS2. But
yeah, there's like a
Subsistence or whatever. No, Subsistence was 2. No, there was like the VR missions. They updated the VR missions. That's what it was.
Subsistence is
2. It's 3.
Subsistence is 3. So there's Metal Gear. So on the Metal Gear collection, there's actually 4 different versions of Metal Gear 1 that you can play. There's the regular Metal Gear 1, which is what I played, just the regular PlayStation 1 one. And there's the VR missions, which is a separate thing.
Yeah, that was a separate release.
And then there's the Metal Gear Integral is what it's called, which has the regular game and the VR missions in it. But from what I could tell, it was only released in Japan. But you can play it. It's all in Japanese, but you can play it with like English subtitles and all that. I didn't really fuck around with that, but yeah, apparently that's like the ultimate version is the integral one. Like same as like Metal Gear Substance was 2 and the Subsistence was 3. That sort of thing. But I just played just the straight up one. And let's see. Oh no, yeah, it doesn't show. It only shows.
Because I remember one time I found a bunch of like games in a dumpster outside of a GameStop or something, and I grabbed them. And not very many of them worked, but the Metal Gear VR missions worked. But it was just that disc because they re-released Metal Gear Solid with the VR missions. Like it was later on, and that disc worked. So I played some of those. They were fun.
1998, September 3rd, 1998.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I thought it was sooner. Well, I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, 98. That's still like a couple of years into the PlayStation slide. Well, because PlayStation 2 came out in 2000, right? Because it came out at the same time as Majora's Mask, which also came out in 2000. But yeah, and Metal Gear Integral came out in 99, but that was the expanded one. But yeah, whatever. I got to the end of it, and the part with Psycho Mantis. You know, I mean, you remember like Eternal Darkness, you know, where they do the sanity effects where it like switches. Yeah. It'll like switch to video 1, you know. Now, in the remake on the GameCube one, it instead of switching into video 1, it says Hideo, you know, like Hideo Kojima.
Oh, okay.
Now, I thought that was specific to the GameCube game, and they did that just because of Silicon Knights doing it. But that's in the PlayStation game. I never knew that until now. It does the same thing where it switches to video, but it says Hideo. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I always thought that was a reference to Eternal Darkness because it did that in Eternal Darkness, but I guess Eternal Darkness was referencing Metal Gear Solid. So there you go.
Sounds like it was.
That's what I learned from that. Yeah, and watching the bathroom scene was weird because, yeah, as I mentioned on the Patreon, I think for my directing class, I directed the scene from the bathroom where Snake and Meryl talk to each other face to face for the first time, and it's exactly the same as it is on the GameCube one. And I was like, yeah, here it is. Here's that fucking scene that I directed, and I know all the words to this fucking scene because we practiced it so many times, like rehearsed it.
I
so
thought
many times.
the bathroom scene you were talking about is where you shoot the guy who's peeing.
Oh no, that's in GoldenEye.
That's in GoldenEye. You're right.
Let's say I don't. I mean, there you can shoot some people when you're peeing, but it's better not to. Just leave them in there. That's what I did. It's like it's best to like stay away from people. You don't need to do it. Oh yeah, and I was like, I'm looking at my notes here. I was like, what? Oh yeah. Towards the end, there's like plenty of stuff that feels like filler. You know, where like you got to go all the way up to the top of the Metal Gear, and you got to go all the way down again. And you got to go all the way up again. I'm like, oh my god. This is just doing this just to add some extra time on there at the end. But there's this whole part where you have this one key that's actually 3 keys, and you change it into different keys depending on the temperature of the key. And there's like 3 different. So when you fight Vulcan Raven, you fight him in this like ice box, you know, where everything's really cold. So you got to go there and you got to make the key cold. Well, first you use the room temperature key, and then you got to go to the cold world, and then you make the key cold. And then you go back and you move it there. And then you got to go to the molten lava place and make it hot. And then you got to come back. You remember the part in like Wind Waker where you had to get the fucking water and take it to different places before it like lost its waterness? They 100% stole that from Metal Gear Solid. It's the same fucking thing. Because if you wait too long, your fucking key will become a normal key again. And then you got to go back and make it hot again. Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, Wind Waker also did all the sneaking stuff, which was 100% taken from Metal Gear Solid 2. I mean, I knew that even when I played Wind Waker the first time. I was like, that's from Metal Gear Solid. Like, why do we need to sneak through the Forsaken Fortress or whatever it's called?
I mean, we snuck in Ocarina of Time.
Well, sure, but I mean, well, I don't know, a little bit, but not when you're like up against a wall and looking around, like doing, you know, like that was 100%. That was a Metal Gear thing. I mean, you were sneaking around in Metal Gear on NES even, or MSX or whatever version you want to call it. But yeah, it had a long ass ending, and at the very end of the game, when you're fighting like Liquid, he says, you know, because Liquid and Metal they're brothers, and they're both clones of Big Boss, who is the original character from Metal Gear on NES.
That's who you are in 3 as well, right?
Yeah, but you're not Solid Snake. You're Big Boss. Big Boss is different.
In 3, you're Big Boss.
Yeah, you're Big Boss, right? Which I think in 3 they call you Naked Snake or whatever. But Solid Snake is the Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. And there's and there's Solidus and Saladin and all these other fucking characters too. It's very confusing because at the end of Metal Gear 1, they say there's another, because there's like, you know, because there's Liquid Snake and regular Snake, but then they say there's a third clone, which I'm sure you find out about in Metal Gear Solid.
Yes,
whenever you get to the end. I think that's Solidus. But yeah, Big Boss is the guy that you play as in Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 5 as well. And any of the PlayStation Portable Metal Gear Solids, if you played those. Peace Walker and Portable Ops, those are all the original Snake as well. Which I would like to see those re-released on Switch at some point. I have them on PSP, but I'd like to play them again on Switch. And yeah, you find out Liquid tells you that there was actually 6 of you, but they aborted 4 of them to make you stronger. So that kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. I was like, no, there was actually 6 babies, but you know, if you abort all the babies, it'll make the other babies stronger. And I'm like, wait, what? Where did this just come out of nowhere? Yeah, it's a fucking weird ass game. But I used to love these games so much. Well, I mean, I was really big on. I mean, the first one I played was Twin Snakes, I think, on GameCube, and I played it a lot. And then I bought. I mean, one of the main reasons that I bought a PS2 was so I could play Metal Gear Solid 3 when that came out. Mm-hmm. So that was a big moving force for me to get the system, and I loved that game as well. Like that was, as I said before on here, I considered that one of my favorite games of all time at one point. It was in my top 5. So I'm happy to play through it. But after playing through Metal Gear Solid 1, I was like, you know what? let's try Metal Gear Solid 2. I mean, it takes place right after. Like, might as well just, it has the same feeling, you know. So I got in there, and it's got a lot of, you know, I didn't get past the snake part because they actually let you change which, or you can pick if you want. You can just play the snake part, or you can just play the Raiden part, or you can play both of them. Like they give you that option in the new version. Yeah, I mean it doesn't say which one it is, but it's like the tanker. It's like, do you want to play the tanker or do you want to play the plant? The tanker is the snake stuff, and the plant is the Raiden stuff. Or you can do tanker and plant. And I guess one of the versions, probably the one that was released before on 360 or PS3 or whatever, it asked you if you had played Metal Gear Solid 1 or not. And if you said you had not played Metal Gear Solid 1, it would completely skip all of the Snake stuff and go straight to Raiden. So I guess so you wouldn't care that Snake wasn't there, that he disappears for half of the game? I don't know.
Or because they thought it would be a spoiler.
Yeah. Or maybe they just don't. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, you don't know who Snake is, so let's just skip to the Raiden part, and you just play that, and you don't need to play the Snake stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's an odd game. I didn't find this as fact or whatever, but I was wondering if maybe they made Raiden because you know the VR missions you could play as Gray Fox, and maybe people liked playing as Gray Fox because he's like a ninja, and Raiden's kind of like a ninja too, right? Maybe they were trying to make
he's more of like a melee character, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I thought maybe they were trying to make a character that was similar to Gray Fox, because Gray Fox dies in the first one. But I mean that doesn't matter. I mean, you know, he could come back as an arm or whatever.
I was to say, I honestly don't remember. I just know I did finish it, and cutscenes and all. I don't know if I'll ever play that game again, but it was a game to play at the time. I was just so bored.
Yeah, I've only played through the Snake stuff. I have it. I have Substance. I have the Substance PS2 game, and I remember I played through the opening part with Snake, and then I just did not finish the Raiden stuff for whatever reason.
I just remember so many articles and stuff about like Metal Gear Solid 2, like leading up to it. Just like the hype around that game was some of the biggest hype I had seen.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a pretty early PS2 game, right? I would think. I mean, it was
a bit into the life. Like people thought it was going to be at the beginning, but it wasn't, because I think it got delayed and stuff. But
2001. I mean, PlayStation was PS2 was 2000, so it's not too far into it. I just figured, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1 was so popular, and I'm sure, like, you know, why wouldn't you? And it had that demo was packaged in some games, right? The demo where you played where you played the beginning, like
what was that game? It was also made by the same company, but it was like a 3D space game. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was like a 3D space fight.
Was it like Zone of the Enders or whatever?
Zone of the Enders, that's what it was.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is there's references to it on the game in the GameCube game. There's there's posters of Zone of the Enders like on the walls and stuff that you see in the remake.
But yeah, you had to buy that game, and I think a lot of people bought that game just to play the demo.
Well, I mean, I could imagine like playing that demo and seeing Snake and being like, "Oh my god, this looks so fucking cool," and then you get it, and that's only half the game, and then you got to be this other guy that you've never seen before. Like I remember, like Jesse, like our old roommate, and has been on the show too. He was so pissed about that. I think everybody was pissed that Snake wasn't in the game. And I remember him telling me that that Hideo Kojima said that he took Snake out of the game because he wanted people to like Snake more. I don't know if that's true or not, but I always thought that was funny. It's like,
sounds right.
He's like, I want you to like Snake, so you only get to play him half the time or whatever. So, but I mean,
who knows with that guy?
It looks great though. I mean, I think like whatever the updated version on Switch looks good. It plays really well. You know, it looks pretty smooth to me, and it's just trying to understand how to play it. I just kind of just walked around and, you know, just shot everybody in the head with the tranquilizer bullets, and just going around knocking everybody out on the boat and trying to figure out where to go. And I fought the first boss. Like I don't remember fighting her before, but yeah, she's like a Russian lady that you have to.
Yeah, they make a big deal out of you like hiding
You got to put her to sleep too.
Asleep or whatever, but you can just throw them over the edge of the boat after you knock them out.
Oh yeah, can you? I couldn't figure out how to move anybody. I would just put everybody to sleep so they'd never find anybody. I mean, I know you can.
They will wake up.
You can they will. You can knock them out. You can like stun them and they'll get up quicker, or you can shoot them with the tranquilizer and they'll stay asleep longer. But and there's this whole thing too. in this one where there's 2 different gauges for the bosses where you can actually go through the game without killing anyone. That's when and you can do the same thing in the remake on the GameCube remake also. But
you're trying to do like a pacifist run.
Yeah, where you can because you still got to shoot the bosses, but they have two life bars. There's like a life bar where you shoot them, they go to sleep instead of dying, and you can shoot them to where they'll die, and you could do pacifist run in that way where you're just putting people to sleep, but you don't actually kill anyone.
It's like when you capture monsters in Monster Hunter.
Sure.
Even though you still harvest their parts.
But I played like 2 hours of Metal Gear Solid 2, and I don't know. I'll stick with it. We'll see. I mean, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is coming out on Friday, so I'll be pretty distracted by that.
Are you planning on playing 3 eventually, or is that just like?
Yeah. No, I want. Well, I mean, originally I started playing 3 first because that's the one I know the best. I played a little bit of on this collection. I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1, and I played a little bit of 3. I didn't play any of 2, and I was like, well, I'll play 1 and 3, and then maybe I'll play 2. But after getting through 1, I was like, well, maybe I could give 2 another chance. But none of them. They're not really that long. Like the games are like, well, supposedly How Long to Beat said that they're both around like 13, 14 hours, something like that for Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
For me, that's like 50 hours.
Well, what was it? They said Metal Gear Solid 1 was 10 hours, and I got through it in 14. So that means I'd probably do it in like 20. But I figured I could try it. I don't know. We'll see how long I can get in it. But I was having fun with it last night, so I beat Metal Gear, and then I just jumped right into Metal Gear 2. I was like, let's do it. Let's try it out. And it's got some fun jokes referencing Metal Gear 1, and Otacon is still there, which I never understood that Otacon's name is actually named after the Otacon event, like the real one, because I had never heard about it until later. I remember Nadia mentioning it on Axe of Blood God, like Otacon. I'm like, Otacon, like the guy from Metal Gear? But it's the Otaku convention, and that's what his name is. He says it in the fucking game in Metal Gear Solid 1. Because his name's Hal Emmerich, but he's like, no, but call me Otacon, named after the Otaku convention. Because he makes Metal Gear because he's obsessed with like fucking mech anime shows or whatever. So I mean, it's I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I always thought that Otacon just was
Gundam
his
is to
name.
blame.
Yeah, Gundam and whatever the other one. Why can't I remember it? The one with the angels and all that.
Oh,
Ava.
Neon.
Yeah.
Neon Genesis.
Yeah. I'm sure that one as well. But yeah, no. Metal Gear Solid Collection. Fun. It's fun to play. I'm glad. I don't know why I waited so long to play it, but I finally did. And I made it through Metal Gear Solid 1. So I beat a game. Hooray.
Well, I also beat a game.
Yeah, you did. The one you've been playing for some weeks here.
Yeah, the one I've just basically only been playing, which is Blueprints. The game that I thought was too smart for me, which I still feel that way, by the way, because I'm hearing all these different stories of how long it took people to beat it, and it took me exponentially longer to beat it. So I think one of the reasons why is because I was so against looking online for help. Not to say that those people were doing it either, but I could have gotten through it a little quicker because I found out there was this one puzzle that I knew how to solve. I just didn't feel like doing it because I didn't feel like writing stuff down. So I finally did it, and that puzzle was how I was able to beat the game. I beat the game within an hour of finally doing that puzzle. So that was basically where I was at. I've been chipping away at much deeper puzzles in the game that are more about learning more of the environment and stuff. But as far as the goal of the game is to get to room 46, and I was 85% there. I just had to do this one little tiny puzzle, and then I beat it. I just didn't know it. So
what was your hour count? Does it count your hours?
Honestly, I should have noted that because I don't have that on me right now, but I imagine it's above 60.
Yeah, because I felt like you played it a lot, so I was like, I wonder how.
I was at 100. I played it a little bit today, and I hit 150 days. So, yeah, most people say they beat it within 50 days, in-game days. And it took me 150 in-game days to beat it. So, yeah, that's me. That's how I play games. That's me as I consider myself a slow learner.
Well, you also kind of just throw yourself into it without looking at any help. You're very much against help. So you'd rather play a game for 100 hours with no help than beat it in 20 hours.
I would.
With help.
I would. Which could be detrimental, but whatever.
Yeah.
I had a really good time with it, and I understand the game really well now. Like at this point, I already have goals of what I want to figure out for the post game. One thing I'm pissed about though is that after I got credits finally, there was this shortcut that I made that would stay consistent between runs that went away. They reset that shortcut, and I was really mad. I was like, "Why did you do that?" It's because they don't want you to like be able to go right back to the spot where stuff is. So you have to like go back through this whole like thingy of going through another room to get to where you need to be and then create the shortcut. And I don't know if the shortcut will remain consistent. See, it sounds so weird saying all this because like I'm trying not to be a spoiler because I think everybody wants to play this, but man, this game is just. I had my first dream about it the other night, by the way. I had a dream that I was wanting to take a nap, which I was actually doing. This was a nap dream. But I was taking a nap, and like a couple of people came over from our landlord to like fix appliances in our house. And there was 2 different people, which has never happened, but in my dream, there's 2 different people. And I actually like made these different rooms for them to go to and had the doors locked. And then I had a couple of rooms in between them with the doors closed, leading to my bedroom where I was sleeping. And so like I wake up and I'm like, oh wait, I want to find out what they're doing. And I have to like draft new rooms to get to where they are. And I'm like, I woke up from that dream just being like, I'm playing way too much Blueprints.
I actually had a few Metal Gear dreams too. So, I mean, we were both hitting them pretty hard. Like, cause the first part of the game, they talk a lot about DNA because they want to like, hint that you're, they don't tell you that you're a clone of Big Boss like towards like the end of the game, but they talk a lot about DNA. So I had this whole dream about where the government would like scan your DNA and like tell you whether you were worth anything or not, and you had to like pass a DNA test before you could get considered to have children or whatever. It was like this whole fucking thing because there is a line where
sounds like eugenics.
There is a thing like where Snake says like, oh, my DNA makes me, I'm alone. The whole thing is him being like, I'm a loner on the battlefield. There's no love. Like you don't have time to care for anyone or whatever, that sort of thing. So it came from that. And I had this other dream, like just the other night, like where Jess's grandma was like a Jedi and she was like healing me so I could kill this like Vulcan Raven guy or whatever. There was this big boss in there and it was wild. But yeah, there was one where I had to kill this big Metal Gear boss, and we made this. There was this huge death scene, like as they always would. But it involved Jess's grandma being like this Jedi master from the whatever. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, from like the, from the Jedi Council or whatever. And she had to heal me so I could beat this guy. And yeah, had all sorts of weird Metal Gear dreams. But I've been hitting it hard. I've been hitting the Metal Gear hard. But it's whatever. It's fun.
It's been a while since I've had a video game dream, and the fact that it was this dream about closing a bunch of doors in a house, like I always dream about buildings. Like that's like how my dreams work. Is cities and buildings, like that's just the way they are. And so it fits perfectly into my dreams. So I'm actually kind of surprised it just showed up finally, but it was bizarre. And I'm so happy I finally beat it because I can take a break from it finally. I do plan on going back because I already have, like I said, I already have ideas of like how I want to approach some of these new puzzles that I found along the way. But the puzzle that was holding me back, the one I didn't want to do, was so easy. It was so easy. And it was like, I wish I would have done that earlier because I probably would have had it beaten it by last week. Like I probably would have like seen credits before last week's episode, but I was just so stubborn about not wanting to write down these things that I stretched the game out a lot, which is probably okay, but it says in the game to write things down. So I wasn't following the rules. But in the meantime, I started unlocking all these other mysteries and working through them. So what I thought was the true end game, maybe the true end game, but the actual like first view at the credits, I had at my fingertips so much earlier than I thought. So yeah, I did that and I feel good. And the reason I said I was like, my hands were red or my hands were blue, whatever, it's a reference to the end, but I won't explain it.
I did. I watched your video that you put up there with the cats in there or whatnot that you put on Slack. And I think you put it on Blue Sky too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
It was just kind of sort of like a proof that I beat it, because I've heard people saying all kinds of stuff about it on the internet. It's, it's still kind of a hot contender for people's game of the year, and
Yeah, people like it a lot.
everybody's got these different views on it. And my view is that I was probably too dumb for this game, but I slammed my head against the wall over and over and over and over again, and I beat it.
I mean, yeah, you liked it enough to just stick with it,
Uh-huh.
whether you necessarily understood it or not.
I just like roguelikes so much, I think. I don't know why, what happened in my brain at some point in time, but I discovered that was like, I really like these types of games, and this was a really cool way of approaching that. And I recommend it to anyone who can play it. If this, I'm hoping it comes out on Switch before the end of the year, because then it can be a contender for my game of the year on the podcast. Otherwise, we've got a whole Switch 2 coming out next month, where I'll have other things to be my game of the year. Sure.
I'd be surprised. I would think it would make its way on there. I think since they're such an indie developer, I think they just didn't have access to any, they didn't, like, apparently a lot of people didn't have access to like the Switch 2 development kits and all that. So, I'd be really surprised if they didn't make their way over there, especially with how much of a buzz it's been getting. It'll probably show up in the next Direct or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised. I actually wouldn't even be surprised if it was a Switch 1 release. Like, that'll also be on Switch 2, but
yeah, I watched some Twitch stuff of it, like on the background when I was editing, and just to give it a look. And yeah, it didn't look super. It didn't look like it, like you were saying. It doesn't look like super graphically intensive.
But I will say, I was going to mention it earlier, but it's not a Switch 1 game. But it definitely would have been an honorable mention of when it comes out on Switch. I will pay money for this. Like, I got it as part of my PlayStation.
Yeah, you didn't even.
So that was really nice.
It was.
So I'll definitely buy it on the Switch if it drops there, and I'll start all over again, because you kind of sort of establish kind of a seed when you start the game, and so it's different every time you restart. Like, you actually start a new file. So I would be interested in approaching it from a different angle and having different limitations this time around because of the layout of things. So I will play this on Switch if it comes out. It's that good. And I will keep playing it on PS5 in the meantime, but maybe not as much, because I'm really happy I can give my brain a break from this game.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would play after this. What would you even play? Have you?
Well,
I'm sure
let me
you've thought
tell
about
you.
it.
Let me tell you a little bit about something I bought this week. And it was just actually a couple days ago. I bought a new TV. Why did I need a new TV? Well, I didn't need a new TV, but I bought a 19-inch HD TV that was manufactured in 2018. I bought it for $13. I was like, I can't pass this up. I was at like there's this place called Salt and Light, kind of near where we live, and it's a grocery store, but it's also kind of a thrift store. So it's kind of like I think it's got like some kind of religious affiliation. But
yeah, it sounds like something from a Bible verse or something.
Somewhat non-profit, but maybe not completely. But they've got a whole like thrift store section, and then the groceries are on the other side. And on the thrift store side, they had all these different screens I was looking at, and I'm like, well, there's all these little like computer monitors and stuff, and I always look at those things like, what could I do with these? Like, obviously, I don't need them, but they're cool, and I want to look at them and see what they have. And a lot of the older ones will have like typical component in, and so like you could still use it as like a makeshift CRT if you had to. With old systems or whatever. I'm like, I still don't need to buy it. There's no reason. We have way too many TVs. I've got one behind me right now I've got two behind me right now I'm not using. So,
I mean, don't talk to me. We got like 6 TVs. Yeah. So we got plenty.
But as I was like leaving the aisle, somebody was pushing a cart through to restock the TVs, and I happened to see one that looked like compelling, and I walked up to it and I grabbed it, and it was $13. I looked at the manufacturing date. Like I said, it was from 2018. It had like a big Best Buy sticker on it. I'm like, this TV is newer than the one like I'm using right now that I'm looking at like as my monitor right now. I bought this one in 2017. So this was manufactured more recently, and it's really, really light, and like it's a 19-inch, and I set it up in my bedroom just like on top of something to just see what it would be like. And it's just so nice. It's like if you're sitting kind of close to it, it's a pretty nice TV to play your Switch on. So I was playing Switch on it for a little bit the other night, and
Yes, I think Insignia is the one. I like those.
that's the Best Buy brand.
I like those TV. It's actually an Amazon brand,
Is it?
but they sell it at Best Buy also.
Okay.
It's an Amazon brand because I got like the one. I mean, I don't know how new. I bought one last year to fix, because my other TV broke. I bought it to replace my TV, but also when I bought 2 TVs, I bought one of those. But yeah, it basically comes loaded with Amazon Prime and all that. And I don't know how it works because the bigger one that I bought it from Amazon, but I picked it up at Best Buy. Like you can buy it at Amazon, but you can.
I think
get it from
Amazon
Best
must have
Buy.
bought that brand because the very first HD TV I have is an Insignia, and it's out in my garage. I bought that in 2012, and
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, they might have.
I bought that from Best Buy, and so I bought this one. It doesn't have any smart TV stuff on it. It's just a TV.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because their smart shit is really cool because it's basically. I mean, the TV is just basically like a Chromecast. You can cast anything to it, and
Maybe
you can,
2018 was too early.
and you can download apps and all that. But my TV's like when I like it's like, oh, sign into Amazon. Like here's your Amazon Prime. Like here's all your Amazon stuff. Like it was all Amazon. And when you pause it, there's commercials for Amazon. Like when you pause like an app, it will show commercials. Like
Oh right, this doesn't even connect to the internet. Like it doesn't have like any sort of internet connectivity or anything. It's got 2 HDMI ports and then it's got the component in. So it's like 19 inches. It weighs like nothing. And it's just got like the one little cord. And I'm like, I have a portable HDMI, like I have a portable HD TV to take around with me. I think I'm gonna mount it on the wall in my bedroom and just as like an extra TV because we don't have a TV in our bedroom. We've never really wanted a TV in our bedroom, to be honest. But I've always thought it'd be kind of fun to have like one of those like TVs on the wall that you put like a frame around, and it kind of looks like you could like have pictures on it or whatever. But it could also be a TV. So I think I might do that with this thing. It's sort of my idea. And I'm like, for $13, I can make a project out of it. But what I really want to do with it, and I haven't tried it yet, but since it has the component in, I want to hook the PS2 and see if I can get a lagless Guitar Hero experience. And if I can, then it's going to become my Guitar Hero TV. And I'm going to like set up an entire Guitar Hero station at the house. And that's going to be the sole purpose of this TV if that ends up being the case. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with this $13 TV. I was so excited. Like, man, TVs have gotten so cheap and they had so many of them. Like, I wonder if, you were trying to open up your own arcade or something. This would be the kind of place to go to buy monitors because $13 a pop,
Yeah, that's so cheap. I mean, I guess I know
and
like
they don't sell them if they don't work. Like they come with the like cords and everything. So the one thing that this doesn't have is the remote, which kind of stinks. There's like the like smart button on it that you can do a bunch of stuff with on the bottom, but you can't adjust the volume. So it's set to like maximum volume and it's really loud. I was surprised how loud it was. I grabbed an old pair of earbuds and I just plugged them into the audio in to silence it. So I'll probably just buy a universal remote and like I said, I'll maybe get a mount for it. And it's just a cute little TV, but it looks so nice. Like I was playing Mario Kart on it. I played a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom on it and I was just like, wow, this looks really good. It pulls up like when you first turn it on, it says 1080p. I don't really believe it's 1080p. I don't see how it could be, but it says it is, but I don't think it is. 19-inch TV though, $13. That's less than $1 an inch. And then the other thing I bought there at the same time for I think $4. Oh, $5 was this. An old school tape recorder, which is actually not that old.
You can play tapes too.
It was made in September of 2011, but yeah, it's got a handle. Wait, where is it? So it's an actual you're going out on the field, taking some notes. I don't know. I think it's cool for $5 and it works. I put some batteries in it and tried it out and it works. So $5, hell yeah. We love old technology around here.
It's very, very cheap.
And that's basically it for me this week.
I was just trying to look. Yeah. I mean, Insignia is owned by Best Buy, but I wondered how, I don't know. There's got to be something about how Amazon got roped into there too, because all the smart ones are very Amazon heavy, whenever you start them, or maybe Best Buy.
Well, I'm happy this is a smart TV. Like
maybe they're just all maybe Best Buy and Amazon
because like
own a
it
part
becomes
of
a
each other,
smart
whatever.
TV. It becomes a smart TV as soon as you plug anything into it. So like it does have like a USB port on it, so I could put like a slideshow, or like I could load up videos or whatever through that. I could probably I bet I could put an external hard drive on it, but like it's not a computer, it's just a monitor.
Yeah, but you can still. It's cheap and you can play all sorts of stuff on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I plugged my PS2 is hooked up to my Insignia in my office, and I really didn't. I mean, I just played. I may have played Xenosaga on it, but I really didn't feel like it was. It didn't feel laggy to me. Like it didn't feel out of the ordinary. You know, I didn't feel like it. Like it didn't feel different. You know, like it would.
I just know that when it went from when we went to HDMI TV's Guitar Hero,
yeah, it got weird.
got weird. So I was hoping that even though it's an HDMI TV, if I use the component cables for the PS2,
Yeah, maybe it'll help.
I'm hoping there's a lack of lag. If that's the case, then that's, like I said, that becomes the sole purpose of this television, to play Guitar Hero on.
Yeah, I'd like to. I never tried it because we have all of the Guitar Heroes on PS2. Because Jess bought like even like 4 and 5 on PS2, which I had never seen before. Those must be kind of rare because they were PS4.
I didn't know 4 and 5 came out for PS2.
They did, yeah. We have them. They're in my office. Yeah, I didn't know they did either, but Jess bought all of them for PS2. So we have all of the PS2 versions. But I've never tried playing it on the Insignia, and that's where my PS2 is hooked up. And I should try it and see if there's any lag to it or whatever. Because that would be the real determination. Because, just playing regular games on there feels fine.
I've talked about a music game station for a long time on this podcast, but man, I have so many Guitar Hero controllers. Like, it would be fun to like set up a station where I've got like the hooks on the wall where you hang up your guitars, like your actual guitars, but these will be the fake plastic ones, and they'll be like around it, and it could be a cool little display piece, and also functional.
It could be. Well, I guess whatever news you want to talk about, I don't want to talk about a whole lot, but let's talk about the news as we normally do every week.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
For the least amount of time. I guess one big thing that I saw that was really exciting to me is that the new, the newest version of Virtua Fighter 5 is coming to Switch 2 now. Now, Virtua Fighter 5 is a PlayStation 3 game. It's an old game. I actually played it for the first time through PlayStation Plus when it very first started, way back when on PlayStation 3, and I still have it. But it's like, this was a part of the, they've been doing like Virtua Fighter directs like Sega has, like on like through their channel on YouTube. And there's a new Virtua Fighter coming out. That's, we don't know what that's coming out for. Maybe not Switch because it looks really good. I don't know. But when they announced that they were going to do an updated version of Virtua Fighter 5. So it's Virtua Fighter Revo, and it's basically like it's the most balanced version or whatever of all of them. So it's still the older game, but it's the newest. They balance the characters in the newest way. It's like that sort of thing. But recently there was another Virtua Fighter Direct, and on there it showed that the Virtua Fighter 5 Revo was coming to Switch. So, which is great because I think even that it's an update of PS3, I think it's not even coming to PS4, and I wanted to play it. Even though I have the original one on PS3, I want to play the new version. And I think it has all the extra DLC and all that on there as well. So cool, more fighting games on Switch. On Switch 2. Awesome.
You'll probably play this with the normal controller, just like the standard controller.
Yeah, I will never use. Actually, that was a thing for my news earlier. Just because I purchased a couple things for very cheap on Amazon, just to prepare me for Switch 2. So I bought like these like USB tunnels or whatever, where you can connect like two USBs together. Basically, so I can. Basically, the idea is I'm going to take I'm going to take my Logitech my Logitech camera, and I'm going to use this to connect one USB to another to connect it to a USB-C so I can put it into my Switch 2. I bought some of these for like very cheap. You just plug two USBs into them together and they'll connect it. But I bought a USB-C to USB-C cable because I don't have one of those, so I can use my leverless on the Switch 2 when it's on tabletop mode, because I always wanted to be able to do that with Switch 1. And I found out like a couple days ago that you can actually do that with Switch 1. You just can't. You need to find a different way to stand it up. But if you plug in a USB-C cable, or if you use a USB-C cable into the Switch 1, you can actually use a wired controller through that. So
You just have to find a way to like stand it up higher because you're plugging
exactly,
into the
yeah. I mean, you'll have to find a way to stand it because it's on the bottom, but it does work. Like I plug my my leverless directly into the Switch 1 in like tabletop mode, and it works. It works great. So there it is. I didn't know you could do that on this one, but I experimented and found out.
That's a good idea. I should get those because I was planning on using one of my cameras that I already own for the Switch 2.
Yeah, so I bought a couple of things for like pretty cheap, but I got these little ones. So I was just going to hook up my.
I wonder if you could just get a USB-C hub that's USB-A that goes into the Switch and then.
Yeah, you could do that too. This was just the cheaper version. Like these are like $5. Really it was like $5. So that's why I went for it. Because where the USB hubs are more expensive, I just wanted something really cheap.
I have a few of those.
And I bought like 5 of these for like $5. Like they're fucking dirt cheap. So I mean, they came in a little bag with a bunch of different ones. In case I ever need extenders for my, you can connect two USBs together and they become longer, whatever. So I was going to use that to try that out with. Let's see, what else do we have on here? There was one thing. Oh yeah, you can use mouse controls on the home menu now. I know you're real excited about that. This was unveiled on Nintendo today. I mentioned it, and John was like, "I'll just rearrange everything on my home menu with the mouse every day," and I believe that he would do that. I believe that's a real thing.
Yeah, those sorts of things are cool to me. I don't know. Like, I'm sure once I have it in hand and I'm like, oh wait, now I'm like using a mouse. It'll be nice.
It's going to be like the Wii again. Do you remember the Wii? You just kind of grab something and move it around like with the virtual mouse. It's just basically going to feel like the Wii home screen again, But now you can do it with the mouse or whatever. I don't know.
I'd rather point at the screen.
I'm still really not that super excited about the mouse, but maybe I will be whenever it happens. You were talking earlier about about the Slime Portal or whatever it's called, Slime Rancher, and how you bought that. You bought that game twice. If you wanted to buy another game twice that you got for free on PlayStation, you could buy Arcade Paradise right now for $6 on Switch.
Oh, nice.
I know you love that game. If you wanted to double dip on it and play it on Switch as well, it's out there for cheap. I bought it for $6.
I love it, but it's like I kind of hate myself for loving it. It's one of those games.
It's like that. What was that Pat Benatar song?
It's just Jet. Yeah, I hate myself for loving you. Yeah.
No, that's like, Joan Jett, right?
I think so. No, it's truly like these job simulator games just really grab me sometimes, and probably to my own detriment.
I know Seth Macy likes it. I saw he had just commented on NBC where somebody's like, "Hey, this is on sale," and he's like, "This game is amazing. Get it." So.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it's great.
I remember him mentioning it on NBC. That's how I got. I mean, I bought it for $6, and then you got it on PS Plus. I think it went on sale and on PS Plus at like the same time. But anyway, if you want to buy it again, it's really cheap. One thing I thought pretty interesting, more Switch 2 stuff. There's an option to where you can have your Switch 2 stop charging at 90% because that's supposed to be healthier for your Switch 2 battery life.
Right, that's just like
that's
phones
cool.
Do that.
Well, yeah, it's like where you're not supposed to. Are you supposed to let it go like almost all the way down before you recharge it? I never do that, but people say that's the way to make your batteries last longer. It's like something to that, right? Or not charge it as much from like 90% to 100%.
Basically, I just hope the smart technology or whatever in the phone knows what to do because I'll just charge my phone all the time if I have a chance because I know I'm gonna like not have a charger for a while. It'll be like at 80 and I'll top it off.
Well, I mean, I will too, but I mean, you're going to buy a new phone before your phone battery is going to die. It's what's going to happen because your phone will like die in itself before the battery dies in it. I think just because they constantly update to the next thing, and eventually you won't even be able to use the apps on it anymore because it's too old. Then you have to get another one. It's called Apple Business, is what they should call it, where they make you continue to buy new phones.
I have a ton of external battery packs that I travel with when we do stuff. So we've got like all kinds of different sources of charging energy.
Yeah, it's really, don't worry. I guarantee you that you will get a new phone before the battery in your phone dies. It's really not going to be. I don't think there's no way you're going to actually.
Something else is going to crap out first.
Yeah, something else is going to break on it before the battery breaks. That's how I feel. Another thing I thought was kind of cool is there's going to be new Switch error screens will now have QR codes that you can scan to give you additional info on as to what's not working on your Switch. I like that, actually. That seems to be a good way forward on how to figure out shit. Instead of just being like, oh, what does error code mean? You can just scan it with your phone, and it'll just take you straight there, and you don't have to look up error 556712 or whatever it is. So cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they're making it a bit more accessible. But it's kind of a sign of the fact that the phone is more the connection to the internet for people than a PC. And even like the last round of consoles, everybody was trying to connect it to the computer, but really it's just your phone. Your phone is what you use when you're not playing your video games.
It's true. You have to. Let's see. Was it Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4? There was some more info for that. Apparently now you can extend the career mode of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 to make it an hour instead of 2 minutes. That sounds ridiculous, but apparently it was an interview, and that was one of the developers said that. So I guess that's how they're getting around not having the career mode, and how the levels are really huge and you won't be able to. They're afraid you might not be able to get to everything.
Yeah,
that seems kind of out there.
More like a handicap than a fix
or a Band-Aid, whatever. But they're still doing shit about it. Oh yeah, and Tony Hawk said that he wanted them to do a remake of Underground. Of course he does. He wants them to keep doing it, but he said that he doesn't have full control of it, but he would love to see a remake of that, and I would too, because Underground is my favorite out of all of them. So let's do that.
As we all know, Tony Hawk's a software developer, and he knows.
Yeah, yeah, right. But I mean, if they do Underground, they have to do Underground as Underground. They can't like fucking do like 2 minute like missions or whatever. Like Underground was the evolution of 4, so it you need that full career mode. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So you have to make it the epic game that it was when it came out. But yeah, aside from that, is there anything else that's on here that you want to talk about?
Not really.
Okay. we can wrap it up then, because I didn't really. I feel like we talked about most of it in the beginning. Oh, actually, there's something we should say. A correction from last week. Yuichi Horii did not say anything about Chrono Trigger at all. It was just his fucking. It was his translator. Fucking.
The translator messed up.
Yeah, that's fucking mean. Apparently, the translator was just having a bit of fun with him. But
so it was an intentional mistranslation?
I guess so. That's what I heard. Yeah, it's
Bullshit.
like that's wild. Well, but now Yuji Horii's like, oh well, no, but that'd be a great idea to do that game. It's like you never thought about that. Come on, man. Like
that translator has been replaced.
Yeah, I would think that Square Enix would like come and put the hammer down on that guy. That's what I would do. Like, I don't know. Yeah, just re-release the thing, as you said last week. Just
you can go back to translating Mystic Quest.
Yeah, just re-release Chrono Trigger. Like it's not on any of the new current systems right now. Like just get it out there. I think you can buy the PlayStation 1 version on PS3, but that's not even available on PS4 or 5.
I just don't want them to make a new like they don't need to make a new version of it. Just make it. Just like release it as is. Like
just re-release it. Just release it, damn it. Get it out there.
God damn it.
Get out there. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I think that's good for this episode. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the podcast. And if you like hearing us and you want to support us, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast, and you can hear all of our bonus shows. We have 72 bonus shows on there right now, not to mention 39 WART radios and plenty of videos of us recording. If you want to see all the stuff that I cut out, you can see it there. And it's also up earlier, or it'll be up like most of the time right after we record it. So
yep,
you can find it there, and if you want to see it right off. And you can find us on Blue Sky. I'm at Trey Johnson. You're at Jared Domain, and also at NintenDomain Podcast as well, and youtube.com/NintenDomain Podcast. Also, I think, what was it? The last one I put up, this is a while ago. I put up the old episode about us the first time we played the Switch, but I'll put another classic episode up soon that we put out before the release of the Switch. Of course, because we have almost 500 episodes, and there's plenty to put up there.
We have a lot of data.
Yeah, and eventually, and I'll stream at some point. Actually, Shake and I were planning on streaming Marvel Capcom, whatever. Not Marvel. The Capcom Fighting Collection 2 over the weekend. So stay tuned
Excellent.
to twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast or the YouTube channel so you can watch us play that game. And hopefully we can get him on next week.
You get more Shake content because Shake's awesome.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get him on the show to talk about it too. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, check that out there. And yeah, thanks everybody for listening. We've been your host. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Hey.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, I record. It's just like, just right there. Right when I start speeding, it just goes out. Okay. All right. What a day. All right.